Ro8. Welcome, Ro8.
야, 한 시간에 줬어. 야, 이거 게이머들 알고.
아, 잘한다.
Wow, Cadenzi with a declaration of love, but he doesn't speak English. Well, Cadenzi, how bad do you want him? How bad do you want him? Are you willing to learn Korean to have him? I still can't get over how much this, like the teeth and the lips and the everything, lower third of this Korean, the model chick looks like someone I went on a Tinder date with. Like, it's like ridiculously uncanny. It's God himself. Get your bum's plastic surgery.
이영환 선수입니다. 양대 합쳐서 15연패. 예선 통과 한 번도 못한 양반인데 제가 감독으로 인간을 많이. 타이슨 박수범 선수입니다. 야.
Wow, Cadenzi got a win with against Rainbow and got Flash to commentate it. Man, some of the experiences you get, Cadenzi. I'm a little bit jealous, to be perfectly honest. I'm a little bit jealous. You get to have Flash commentating your games. My God. Who have you not had commentate your games, Cadenzi? Maybe like Artosis and Faceless? That's maybe the only thing you're missing from like the complete set? Tyson? Oh. You didn't know who Tyson is? What? How do you not know Tyson, or do you just not know the English name? In which case, then I understand. But if you don't know the English name, like, and you're just 100% like from Korea, like your English is really good. Oh, there's the game. Hey, there's the game where Tyson beat Flash. Yeah, Sulky has a pretty good face. Sulky has a pretty good face. It's kind of weird, but it's sort of good too. Calm is pretty good looking. Reach is the most masculine, good looking pro gamer though.
자, 반갑습니다. 모두의 축제 신한 금융투자 NPL
Wait,
시즌 2를
TT1, are you freaking serious? Are you actually serious that Sulky's your favorite player? Because Sulky is legit my favorite player, so like if you're serious about that, that's kind of funny. Yeah, Toxic Abby, can you imagine how nice it must be to be Tyson? You just show up, you lose every game, and you still get the bread, still get the dough. Oh, these cringe names. Oh, Lord. Yeah, Sulky is actually my favorite player. I mean, that's part of why I switched to Zerg, in all honesty. I loved him ever since he came from that Dream League, where he was like 9-0 or 10-1 or whatever, 10-0. It's a pretty good record. And then he just steps on the stage, like rookie, and just reverse all kills right through we made. Kills light, kills everybody, just bam. Zonk, yeah, I'm feeling you. Like I said, the Korean female girl or whatever that they keep showing at the team draw thing, the way, I mean, you know, not the fact that she looks Korean, but like her lips, her jaw, her teeth look so much like this girl I went on a Tinder date with that it's just, it really throws me off. Damn, Abby. If watching Cadenzi makes you feel good about your gameplay, I don't even want to know how watching me makes you feel. Don't watch me. Your ego will get too big. Way too big. So we have Brittany and Larva again. We get to watch Larva go without actually saying anything.
지켜볼 것 같아요. 그렇죠. 지켜볼 거고 당연히 지켜볼 거고 그리고 또 중요한 건 여기서 1등으로 올라가.
Now, once they start showing lineups and stuff, then we can get hype, see what matches we have today, and hope the big match occurs in the first 4 sets.
좀 약간 감스트 K리그 팀, 신한 금융 투자팀 어떤 팀이 좀 괜찮습니까? 예, 맞붙었을 때. 둘 다 별로기는 해요. 아, 둘 다 별로긴 하지만 예, 어디를
Made me feel pretty good when you were versus Shin too.
자, 넘어가겠고요. 자, 일단 저희를 오랫동안 보고 싶진 않을 겁니다. 예. 빠르게
Have not played against Artosis. That is kind of surprising. Artosis seems to be getting half decent now. I mean, he's getting up there. He's been having some good games. His mechanics are better than I thought they were, in all honesty. I don't know what they're showing here. Is this a sponsor advertisement? That girl had a really small waist. Whoa! All of a sudden we're 3. All of a sudden we're 3. We've added a female commentator caster person to the trio. And as always, Brittany has amazing chemistry with everybody that he casts with. It's just like magic. Yeah, now that like I see her sitting there, it all makes sense. It all makes sense.
아니 진짜 채팅창 보시면은
고모 이모 아줌마 빼고 누나로 통일합시다. 누나로 가시죠. 저기 고모 이모 아줌마는 강퇴시켜.
아 지금 보세요.
자 여러분.
통일했어요.
She's 46? She's 46? What?
굉장히 많이 바라시는.
46? What? What? Really? That's crazy. Even if it's Korean 46, that's like 44. Like, what? Now that you say it, and I'm like looking for it, I can see it, but like I definitely thought she was 25 to 30. I mean, now that you say it, I can sort of see it. But, whew, that's crazy. That's crazy. So, if you guys are just tuning in, this is actually not MPL stream. This is the, we're going to commentate on the people that organize and cast MPL. We're just going to talk about them. Like, during the games, we're just going to discuss Larva and Brittany and our female commentator here. And Brittany has a big skull. Flash has a big skull though too. I feel like there's a lot of Koreans with big skulls. Like, look how big Brittany's head is compared to the female streamer, the female chicks. I mean, Nalra's too, but like. the robustness of these skulls.
굉장히 많습니다.
Yeah, I thought she was, honestly, I thought she was like
네.
max 30.
뻔한 질문 아닙니까? 아니, 당신을 원했어요?
아니 강미 빼라며.
아, 강미 포함해도잖아요.
그렇죠.
Nahara still looks like a Milky Bar kid.
그러면
Poor
제가
Nahara.
아프리카식으로 좀 약간 짓궂을 수 있는데 반대로 그러니까 와, 이 사람은 대박인데? 이야, 이 사람 어떻게 배설을 하고 있지라고 생각하는 사람이 혹시 있는지.
제가 용욱이랑 케미
Does Brittany lift? He looks like he has like some pretty decent traps on him. Like I always saw him on stream and I just thought he was like kind of fat, but every time I see him, the way his like whatever, it looks like he's got some traps. It looks like he's gonna just, you know, rip 500 pounds off the floor.
팬들도 있다.
대놓고
네,
말씀하셨습니까?
저는 원래 대놓고 얘기하는데.
아, 그러면
Kim got oil, so beautiful.
지훈 회장님 어떻게 생각하시는지?
그런 분이 있었죠.
그런 분이 있었다죠. 아, 예.
아, 왜 그러세요? 명언을 남기신 분이세요?
그러니까요.
시나브로 하세요?
Yeah, like compare Brittany's neck, right, to the way it looks around his neck to like Nalra, who is definitely just soft. Like Brittany, like it looks like he's got capped shoulders and like some traps. Like I legit feel like Brittany looks like some kind of tanky powerlifter dude.
소름 돋는 거 뭔 줄 알아요?
Like I actually feel like Brittany would just like pick someone up and just like snap him over the knee. He looks strong. He looks strong, man. I don't know. Like if they just rolled out a bench press and a deadlift bar and Brittany just like benched 500 and pulled 600 from the floor, I'd be like, okay, yeah, okay.
오랜만에 되게 미안해요.
Brittany is guy on the right, the organizer of MPL.
프로게이머 전
all our foreign names for the players.
이영호 선수 것도 봤고 얼마 전에 가장 최근에 신상훈이
술 먹는 거
60억 하더라고요. 60억
Brittany, like,
너무 충격적이어가지고.
either he's like wearing something under the shirt or he has to lift. I gotta find out now. I'm really curious.
이기고 나서 이겼는데 진짜 이겼는데 못할까봐 했는데
연승을 했잖아. 저는 상민이가 원래 그런 사람인지 처음 알았어요.
상근형이요 왜요?
Happy.
맞죠.
무슨 소리를 하는지 하나도 못 알아들었어요.
Yeah, Nalra does have a genuine smile. He does. He has a very friendly face.
대부분 그래요.
Actually, Brittany has a pretty friendly face too, in all honesty.
아, 동선이 캐스터가 근데 김봉준 씨를 본 적이 없.
왜? 제가 프로리그 나왔을 때
Call him Mangjun. Everyone calls him Bongjun
처음에 전화 받을 때
or Mangjun. Oh, okay. Bongjun, Brittany.
우리가 제가 좀 솔직하잖아요.
Or Mang. Oh, that comes from his I am. No, that's someone else. It's going by I am Mang. What is Mang?
아 네이버에 찾아보시면
You are absolutely correct. The new era, but we had a bit of a delay, just like before.
조금 더 지금보다 훨씬
So yeah.
잘했어요.
이 정도
4분의 2 정도.
그걸 보니까 기억이 나.
I don't know. Yeah, but he also looks like he has capped shoulders, like Angry Poke. Like his shoulders don't look like flub. They have some like prominence. It looks like he's got like cap boulder shoulders.
아 경기 내용이 기억이 안 난다. 오케이 알겠습니다. 그렇죠.
Abby is Mang.
일단 여기로 와주셨는데 오늘은 이제 캐스터 역할을 해주기 때문에.
No, that goes more than anything. though. That goes to
캐스터요? 캐스터가 캐스터라고 해서
Isn't it Hooray? No. Who's playing? Who's going with ID I am Mang now?
시청자분들 중에서 하나만 좀 질문.
I can't even remember.
왜냐면 이제 정선의 캐스터분께서
Shoot.
여기 와주셨는데.
It's a Protoss, but I can't remember who.
처음이잖아요. 완전 처음이니까 시청자분들 질문.
But yeah, I don't know what Mang means.
딱 받는 건 좋을 것 같아요. 예.
여러분의 질문.
네네네 하나만 딱 받으면 됩니다.
Oh, fail. Oh wow, that's.
아, 쉬는 얘기밖에 안 했었어요.
So whoever it is actually just plays on I am Mang. Is that Gwemchi? Is that Harang too? Or am I completely spacing on who that is? Apparently some funny shit is going down for these three.
아, 좋습니다. 자 일단은 오늘 완전 대박 매치.
They are having a grand old time.
이거 온게 일부러 짠 게 아닌데.
Gwemchi, okay, G-Sizzle going by I am Mang. That's what I thought.
최고의 우승 후보. 그래서 제가 봤어요.
Gwemchi.
감독들도 예를 들면 뭐 이영호 선수, 뭐 그다음에
That's really interesting. Like, I rely on those game sounds quite a bit. I honestly feel very disoriented when I play Broodor, and my sound is too low.
그렇죠. 예.
영단계 얘기는 하나도 안 하죠.
영단계 얘기는 안 하죠. 예,
Yeah, now that you tell me she's 46 or whatever, I can see it. StarCraft Mom. Yeah, that's a good nickname. That works. Oh, no, sadly I cannot translate. It would be on my list of things to do if the opportunity to go to Korea and live there for a while ever pops up. I would love to learn, but I would not ever be able to put enough time into it to like learn it well outside of actually traveling there. Also, by the way, as it sits right now, how are we as far as sound balance? I guess it doesn't really matter though, because Brittany has it set up so that he's quite loud over the game sounds. So really, there's no way I can get game sounds effectively in there. StarCraft Elf. Marry me instead of Tyson. I don't have any plans to marry Tyson. Sorry to disappoint you. Smug. Nah, Blind Rar. Balloons wouldn't send me to Korea. You can donate balloons if you want to help me get a new GFX card, but balloons wouldn't be enough. I'd need like a stable income. A freaker would have to be like, yo, come to Korea, we're gonna pay you. Sound balance seems fine. Cool. K-League Gamst versus Shinhan. Oh. FIFA? What? FIFA? Why does it say FIFA? Isn't that like soccer? Owner. Is this like his business accomplishments? I honestly have no idea because it says owner of Gamst. K-League Gamst. I'm really curious about this guy. Real helium balloons? Ooh, that would be fun. I would totally do that. If you guys want to donate real helium balloons and get me like 150, yeah, I will go to Korea on freaking balloons. Let's do it. Across the Atlantic, across the Pacific on balloons. Ride the freaking jet stream to Korea. Wait, you couldn't chat, Columbo? That's really sad. That's really sad. I'm sorry. I don't know why you couldn't chat, though. Football, okay. Touche, Rada. Like, you have a point. But I am silly Amerikaner that uses terms of ignorance. I mean, we use barbaric things here, like 5'9". What is that? Pounds? What? Oh, Cadenzi is #1 fan. Funding Elmaster. I've got 5 helium balloons now from Cadenzi. I think I can get at least 5 helium balloons for that price. So yeah, I'll just tie the helium balloons to my couch, get like 150 to maybe like 500, and yeah. Elf Selly, I don't know that, but if you check Team Liquid, you can probably find it. It'll probably be linked there. But yeah, we're just gonna get like, I don't know, 500 helium balloons and just tie them to my couch, and it's literally gonna become the casting couch. And we're just gonna fly to Korea on the winds of the jet stream. That's like the best idea anyone's ever had. I forget who just typed that idea, but that was like, that's freaking genius, man. It's gonna happen. I'll probably die. I'll probably fall off the couch like in my sleep or something because it'll be like a full day long trip. But totes, it's gonna be a good idea. A master should do boo 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 on stream whenever he gets balloons like these. Oh, I don't actually know what that. I like Larva's little waiting out at sea. Is that okay? So we're getting team lineups. No, we're not getting matchups. But is Yeonji? Is she Stargirl or is that somebody else? And I have no idea who 815 is. Like, I've seen the name, but he's not like super notable. Afrika didn't show chat. Sounds like you're getting ripped off, Columbo. But I'm glad to hear it's... Whoa, Shine looks so angry? Oh my god. Do you see that death stare? He just needs to, like, jut his chin a little more, but, like... God, he looks like he's gonna just like stick a knife through your heart. I wouldn't even want to be like sitting across from him like that.
조금 많이 변했어요.
아니 근데 개짜 가족 같은데요? 그 이거가 그 있어요.
맞아요, 맞아요.
애니 있는데 예, 좀 약간 그런 모습을 보여줍니다.
Angry poke. Yeonji is star girl. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
최근에 기량이 살짝 이제 떨어졌다는 평가를 이제 받았는데 MPL 시즌 2를 통해서 또 엄청나게 연습을 했고 이제 기량을 어느
That's
정도로
just
끌어올렸대요.
Shine's face. That's his dead face.
의미가 있는 거잖아요.
Yeah, dude, it's. I mean, it's the it's Mu Pro League. I would say is. It's fair to say that it's basically the equivalent, the team league equivalent of ASL or KSL, right? Like it's a top level Korean team league. Now, depending on your viewpoint and whatever, I guess you could say the female matches make it down a tier, depending on how you want to look at it. But I don't know. I don't really feel that way. I enjoy them for what it's worth, in all honesty. Shine looks too angry to look like a spoiled kid. He doesn't have a bratty look, at least not to me. Plus, he's just flash tier obs. Blind Roar, when that happens, that'll be so sweet. What are these graphs showing? Someone want to break these down to me? We're obviously looking at 5 traits they're trying to quantify, but I don't know what they're trying to quantify. ELOs? Of different players? Of the different tiers of players, maybe? How strong they are relative to their tier? Team Gamst. Military mission completed.
왜냐면 이제 감스트 구단주 같은 경우에는 이제 진짜 사나이 나갔기 때문에 미필 선수는 안 뽑았어요.
절대 안 뽑았어요. 예. 그래서 다 면제, 소집 배제. 근데 애공 선수는
Matchups have not been announced yet. That's coming. Right now we're just getting our breakdown of our stats and all that kind of fun stuff. These are probably player win rates. Kespa era, maybe? I don't know what this, I wonder why there says 50%. That's interesting.
MBC 히어로의 에이스 연보성 그리고 하이프 스파크의 신상문, KT 로스터의 이용호 모아놨기 때문에 이 팀 정말 이 이름만 봤을 때는 제일 셀 수밖에 없거든요.
아니 왜 박수범 선수를 언급을 안 했어요?
박수범 선수는 야 배제 고릴라예요?
빨리 넘어가야 돼. 이렇게
그렇죠.
빨리 넘어가셔야 돼요. 네. 자, 그러면 지금부터 이제 중요하죠.
야, 중요하죠.
예. 자, 예측을 어떻게 했는지 먼저 박정 감독.
Can you imagine if North Korea like is also really into StarCraft, but because they're so isolated, they have all their own like infrastructure, and then finally when things get worked out, like North Korea comes and there's like this big like Korea versus Korea StarCraft match, and North Korea is like equally gosu as fuck. Imagine that there's like a North Korean Flash, and he meets like South Korean Flash, and we get the most insane TVT of all time at just like an incomprehensible level. Damn, fit coach right here. How can your English get better? Are you asking me like if I see anything wrong with your English, or are you like asking me how is the like what's the best way to learn English? Oh, we got our match reveals. We have ZBT match 1. God, I really need to learn Korean player names. Remind me to study that for like an hour. That's on my to-do list. Cadenzi will beat her North Korean counterpart. Can you imagine Cadenzi if there was some person from like Europe or whatever that had been kidnapped and like had been in North Korea and they just like forced her to play StarCraft, and she was like, oh man, she'd just been forgotten about, but then she was playing StarCraft all the time. TVP. TVZ. Oh yeah, I heard Korean is kind of like, I don't know. Do you know Yoda, the Star Wars guy, the little green guy from Star Wars? I heard Korean kind of goes more like that sort of speak. It's like a different organization than how English is.
그렇죠.
네네네네.
또 일단 빗나갔고요.
그렇죠.
네, 이영환 선수 적으로.
But yeah, probably best way to learn is just to listen. I would think to just either, of course, if you can go live somewhere and talk to people, PVT. So that's probably Flash
감스트 캐리그
versus somebody. I don't know. Could be best versus C as a best match. If it's best versus Flash, that would be pretty sweet.
반대로 이제 신한국민 투자는 배병훈 이상하고 신상국 꺼낼 거거든요.
그렇죠.
But yeah, basically just trying to speak it as much as you can. If listening to it, I think helps. But you know, from everything I've heard and learned, like immersion is the best thing you can do. And then if not, just try to speak it with as many people as you can, and listen to it as much as you can. Oh, we got 2 big matches. Whoa, whoa! They're both PVTs and they're both big. I don't best versus. That's a bit of a stretch to say best versus Leta is a big match.
왜냐하면 그랜드 라인이 그랜도 라인이야.
맞습니다.
오재욱이 그랜드 라인의 성적 굉장히 좋았고
네.
태풍의 눈은
Subject,
영어로
object, verb.
그렇죠.
그럴 정도로 그래서 이렇게 나오지 와 저는 두 개.
So
이렇게 되면 MPL 시즌 3는
감독 정보.
yeah, that's like Yoda speak. El Master Chobo is.
아니 뭐 박정석 뭐 별거 아니야.
I don't feel like Leta is good enough in TVP. I feel like Best is gonna smash him. Harangue 2 versus Flash could be kind of good. I mean, Flash is obviously hugely favored, but Harangue does have decent PVT. Yeah, man, I hope it helps. Hopefully someday I'll have a chance to actually try to learn Korean too. I think both are kind of hard languages to learn. Like it's a big difference, but and then English is just weird because English is it's just a weird language, man. There's weird things that happen. I mean, your English already seems pretty good. You know, like I feel like if you were here, like you would not have too much of a hard time understanding it, but maybe it's just one of those things like speaking it conversationally is hard. Yeah, hopefully Leta makes TVP Wraiths. I mean, it's Leta, so, you know, anything's possible. Although Haya actually beat him to the punch on that famous triathlon game, which is kind of a disappointment. It's kind of a knock on Leta's career, in all honesty, that he never went for it, and Haya did. Doje Wook. Man, so I didn't know how Afrika worked, right? And that you could, like, have the same username as somebody. So this guy showed up, and I was, like, watching Best stream the other day, and he showed up with the exact same username, and I was like, I didn't freak out, but I was, like, thinking in my head that, like, Best was watching, and then I, like, went back afterwards and, like, looked, and I was like, oh, no, it doesn't work that way. I was like, wow, I was actually gonna have Best watching my stream. It was a sad day. It was a sad day. Yeah, man, if I ever come to Korea, I'll be happy. You teach me Korean, I'll teach you English. It'll be fun. We'll talk to each other in the opposite language. We'll have very simple conversations. Who are left is Nara, middle is StarCraft Mom, and right is, of course, what do we call him? Bongjun? Bongjun? And it's actually Jaedong in the middle. Jaedong's been getting plastic surgery. Jaedong's in the middle. He got plastic surgery. What do you think? Does plastic surgery work? Jaedong was frustrated that Calm was prettier than him, so he got plastic surgery. And, well, you can see the results in the middle for yourself. It's still no game. Yeah, they're drawing it out, man. Oh well, I was already not going to sleep. StarCraft. That's just what we called her. Apparently she's 46. She doesn't look it, but apparently she's 46. Apparently she's 46. Jung-Soo Rim.
이게 바로 아프리카 TV.
아프리카는 모든 게 가능해요.
모든 게 가능합니다.
Jaedong looking good. Looking fine. Guys, it's giving new meaning to I would go gay for Jaedong. She's redefining how, to what extent you would go gay for Jaedong. Jaedong head. Wait, does Jaedong actually like Calm? I feel like everybody kind of likes Calm. Wait, does surgery get you out of going to the army? The image of Korea? No, I think that's like fair to say. Like, I don't think that's like a specifically Korean thing. Like, I know there was a point where, like, I don't know, maybe 5-10 years ago, there was this image like in the West that like a lot of Korean girls did get plastic surgery and then it was really popular. But nowadays, I don't feel like that's there. I feel like kind of like plastic surgery isn't still like 100% accepted. Like, it's still kind of unusual to meet someone in day-to-day life that's had plastic surgery, but for people that have money or rely on their looks, like, it's really common, and some people get it. Even some guys are starting to get it now. Like, I have met a guy or two that's had like jaw implants and stuff. So it's like, yeah. I don't think that's like a Korean image that's weird. All right, match number 1. I think we're actually about to have a game of StarCraft, people. It's about to happen.
연보성은 정말 말도 안 되는 전적을 가졌어요. 아니 맞습니다. 연보성 선수가 280경기를 했고요. 예, 배병호 선수는 100경기도 못 치렀어요. 그렇죠. 예.
815 versus C. I have a feeling that 815 is going to get wrecked. I realize C is a bit out of practice comparatively, but guys, C is pretty damn good. 815 was like B team tier.
전적은 숫자에 불과하지 않습니까, 강민혜 해설위원?
전적은 아무 의미가 없어요. 지금 이 선수들이 딱 경기하기 직전에 저는 마인드가 가장 중요하다고 봅니다.
Angry Poke, I'm actually lucky. If you see my jaw from the side, it actually is. It would be pretty obvious that it isn't. But I'm very lucky that it looks good from the front.
제가 조금 경솔했습니다.
Oh, should I get into the Twitch ASMR game? Start like scratching my mic and shit. Yeah, I was just being silly. I was curious if anyone was gonna comment, like, if the difference in the sound was that notable. Alright guys, we're about to have our first match of the day, finally, after an hour and 40 minutes. Hour and 37 minutes to be precise. We're gonna have C versus 815 on what appears to be Tau Cross. Using StarCraft 2 icons, though. That's throwing me off. In the 9 o'clock position as the Green Terran from Team Shinhan, we have C, one of the OG of all-time Brood War sponsors. And in the bottom position here at 6 o'clock, as the Brown Zerg from KLGST, we have 815. Do I want to try Korean military service? Oh man. Right now, I would be scared. With all the North Korea stuff, I'd be afraid. I could do, like, I am not the kind of person that could, like, be a soldier like that. I could do other jobs in the military, but I could not be, like, a frontline soldier. Honestly, number 1, I couldn't kill somebody else. I couldn't do it. And number 2, I would be too afraid of dying, in all honesty. I would be useless. Oh, what is this? What is this? 8 racks? Forward 8 racks from C? Yep, okay. So this is like Light yesterday, where it was like midnight, and Light was just like, I'm gonna proxy 2 factories and kill this nerd. And it appears to be the same from C. He's gonna go for the Erex. Now, that's not quite as aggressive as a proxy 2-fact, but you know. It's gonna be a little bit aggressive. Bunker Rust potential, Overlord sniping potential, all kinds of fun. I mean, honestly, like, yeah, if I had, like, time to just, like, go have 2 years of experience, like, that would be a pretty crazy thing to do, and it would be pretty interesting. But, I mean, as a serious question, I would assume that Korean military service is probably only for Koreans, or do they take, like, anybody that wants to serve? That's actually a really interesting question. I don't know. Like, I could see where you'd say, no, like, you need to be from our country, but I could also see where you'd be open to having anybody serve. Also, that's a very fast gas. Wait, is that... Did he get gas before pool? What? What? Did 815 take his gas before pool? Yeah, okay. I don't know what this is, boys. Super fast speed? Did he do something really unorthodox here? I am very, very curious to see what happens. This is strange build. Strange build. He's building up a few Marines. Wisely, or fortunately for 815, he has not sent his Overlord over, so that's not going to die. And the drone is just going to chase this SCV down here, trying to pick it off. Did get a hit or two on, but now C coming across the map here. So yeah, I mean, more or less, he's going to have the ability to get a very fast layer and fairly fast link speed. So I guess this just means A15 is going to play mad aggressive. But first he's got to deal with this bunker rush, because he did still 12 hatch. And C is being a pain in the neck. He is walling off that, and that's getting pretty finished. This is not looking good. He can just attack the drone there. That's going to allow him to effortlessly finish the bunker. And I think 815 has already kind of self-owned himself here. Because that bunker is going to finish. Now he's going to be able to make a lot of speedlings. Perhaps if he spawns some Larva, C will need to be a little bit worried about that, but it's not looking good for the hatch. I mean, he's not even doing anything with those Larva right now, and he has the money to do so. But he's not using those Larva. C's grabbing another barracks in his main base here, just playing it nice and safe before his expansion, having scouted how quickly the Zerg had his layer up in the way he's playing. But interestingly, yeah, not going to spend any Larva, so he is just absolutely sacking the hatch. He's saying, you know what, the hatch is dead, I'm just going to go on with my tech, and yeah, C's already in a really good position. I mean, I guess C could slightly mess it up and die to whatever desperate all-in follow-up he does, but looking pretty good at C for C right now, grabbing his gas, and of course you can see he's just delaying his expansion. He says, you know what, you're going to have one base. Like, I'm just going to get some tech on one expansion and be fine. So hatchery's going to fall here. I'm honestly kind of surprised he didn't make lings from that hatchery. I feel like he could have ran those lings out and escaped them, especially with the fast speed. Spire's on the way, so Meteor are going to be super fast. He's going to be grabbing, he does have the drone out of the map, so he's going to be grabbing a base in the top right, although C is, interestingly enough, moving out with those Marines and sending an SCV there, so C appears to be all over this hatchery nonsense from 815. And the Meta will not be out in time to defend it, and he hasn't really made lings, right? So, well, actually, never mind. C's not sending his Marines, not committing that way. But C is going to come up here, and I'm assuming going to scout the main and know exactly what he's up against. And yeah, with just one hatch, though, the Muta numbers are not going to be particularly high. And the timing will obviously be fast. Okay, now he did finally make those Larva, so he has enough to surround this bunker. So this is sort of kind of the dangerous moment for C, but there's 4 Marines, looks like a 5th there, and an SCV there to attack, so here we go. But C's already got Marines. Oh my gosh, he's already got Marines. His medic's out. Now he doesn't have range done yet, obviously. He's grabbing that eBay. And oh man, if 815 dives on this bunker and C's like Marine reinforcements get there right as he dives on that bunker, it's gonna be so bad because then the Mute will literally have to defend it home. He's gonna lose all the lings and then he just gets countered. So we'll see how this plays out. Now C's main is gonna be kind of undefended, but these Muta are basically gonna have to stay home. C's ungarrisoning the bunker. The Muta are now out. Oh, I didn't even realize this was like displaying there. It just dawned on me. Alright, so yeah, now the Muta have to defend it home. That's not what you want when you just went for what amounts to a delayed 1-hatch Muta. There's even a Firebat here to add some Ling fighting ability. So here we go. Trying to do the micro here. I don't think C's range is quite done, but it should be very close. The only thing that's not so great about this army for C is the medic count could be 1 or 2 meds higher, but it's not bad. C's just target firing the gas. He's like, you don't get any more Muta. Then he's going to switch right here. Muta are trying to dive onto the medics. Can they get them? Is there enough to clean this up? It looks like just barely cleans it up. Firebat is trying to barbecue some drones. Double Firebat's trying to barbecue drones. Doesn't barbecue a ton, but I mean, we can see at least 3 or 4 dead drones right there. So yeah, and then there's a Firebat attacking this hatchery. It's not going to get a chance to kill it, but it's going to do some damage to it for sure. And now all defended up to the natural here, against Lings anyway, but the Muta will have a potential now to do a little bit of harass. And C doesn't have any turret. Okay, he's got 1 over the barracks, but he doesn't have any turrets in the main. So a little bit vulnerable here. I'd like to know the Muta count. It looks like it's about 5, which isn't really enough to do good harass. You'd like to have at least 6 or 7 so you can comfortably one-shot things. And of course, he doesn't really have enough Muta to efficiently engage turrets, who take a lot of damage, but he's going to start attacking that Evo. He's going to force the Marines and Medics back for that. His Lings have popped in the top base, 815's has. So we can see 815, for the moment, secures that base. C's trying to do a little bit of repair on that, but it's not working out for him, because the Muta are actually going to splash onto the SCVs. So these Muta are actually getting a little bit of damage done at home, but remember, C is moving across the map, and the fact that C is not attacking, or not defending, rather, should kind of tip off 815 to the fact that C is countering him, and indeed he's turning back the Muta, but that's only because he just saw it with his Overlord over the cliff. And it looks like maybe C was just checking for a base, but we're going to have a medic find here. Snipeu on the medic, and that leaves C with just 2 medics here and a small group of Marines. Now, well controlled, these Marines can handle these Muta depending on how the engagement plays out. But if a few Lings come out for 815, then it'll be pretty easy for 815 to just roll over this little group here. And C reinforcing. That is a bold reinforcement, though. Marine only. That's very just campable by the Mutas. Muta just hover over that and it just dies. Especially now that we're getting close to a full stack of Mutalisks here. But, of course, remember the economy for 815. This is ZVZ economy from 815 here. And he's being forced to defend at home. Like, he wants to be killing C, not having to defend his base at home while C just makes SCVs and grows his economy and adds turrets and all those happy things. So C is working to join up his army here. Pretty good Muta micro. It looks like 815 might actually kill this off right before C joins, which is going to let him be pretty efficient, but now more Marines show up. And is he going to die for the medics? No, he's going to force the Marines back. There are actually just 7 there. 1 has died. Still mining gas, but look at that infantile economy. It's a horrible situation. And C, with his pressure at the front, forcing these Mutas to stay back, means that C can send some units across to the other base. Now, I don't think there's quite enough in that force unless there's a Firebat, that a few Lings being made there can't save it, but C will definitely be able to kill the drones and continue to keep that base shut down. The Overlord's going to see it, though, and now 815 is going to be like, oh, okay, so he's trying to run drones. And of course he hasn't saved Larva there, so yeah, really nice play from C here, because there's enough pressure at the front, especially without Sunkens, that these Muta can't leave. Like, he can't lose his main, and then the Marines are free to harass the natural. And now he's going to clean this up, but not in enough time to save his natural drones from getting wrecked, or at least or in this case, not his natural drones, his natural from getting wrecked. And the drones are just going to leave now because, well, that base is dead. So yeah, C still hasn't broken out a huge supply edge. He's actually not made many SCVs at all. That's interesting. You don't usually see that very often from a Korean pro gamer, but C has basically not been making SCVs much at all. 10 minutes, like, that's a very unsaturated main base for 10 minutes, and that's the main reason these supplies are pretty close. But the Zerg has one base, you know, one hatch of Larva. That's a terrible situation to be in for Zerg. You know, there's really no options for 815 in this game. It's basically just now waiting for C to mass up a little bit, or come out with tech if he's been teching. We haven't seen his base for a while, and finish 815 off, because 815 doesn't have an option to kill anything with his Mutas, and he doesn't have enough Larva to do anything. Like, and the moment he stops making Mutalisks, the moment he stops making armies, C runs over him, and he dies. And if he keeps making Muta, well, he can't kill C, so C just outgrows him, and he dies. So the long story here is 815 is very dead. And the other part of the long story is 815 is very out of position, so a bunch of his shit is going to die in his main, unless he catches C just running around like crazy like this. I wonder if C's just going to kill the gas again, go for the Spire, or just micro against the Muta. It looks like he's going to micro against the Muta for the moment here. He is target firing that gas. The gas is dead, so no more gas for 815. They'll clean up this last group of Marine and Medic, which will prolong the game. Oh, I said he was going to clean it up, but maybe not. Another Muta pops. Okay, now we're camping it, and there we go. GG. Maybe we didn't even have enough to clean it up, but pretty clinical here from C. In some ways, C did take a few risks, which was interesting, but pretty dominant game from C, honestly, as expected. 815 just had no answer to that bunker and that depot. Like, letting that depot go up was definitely a mistake. Get walled out, what are you going to do? So C seems pretty hyped up. And of course C Yumbo Sun, pretty damn popular Korean streamer. He's always up there in views. He's up there in that, I would think, top 5. Flash is huge, Jaedong is huge, Calm is pretty big, Brittany is big, C is big. Larva's pretty big, but I feel like Larva usually gets a few less viewers. Although it's interesting because Larva is much smaller than Flash on Africa, but Larva's big on YouTube. Larva's like twice Flash's YouTube following. Larva's getting over 500,000 followers. Flash is like 250k, I think. I was pretty surprised by that, in all honesty. Just how many viewers or how many subscribers Larva has on the YouTubes.
강민혜 선생님 같은 경우는 신애들 이렇게 올라오면 이상한 전력 들고 와가지고 뭐 5분 만에 끝내고 그러지 않습니까?
So no surprises there, but that's kind of nice for Gamst actually, because they sacrificed 8-15 against a pretty strong player, so that's a pretty favorable lineup trade, I would say, for Gamst. The word is BJ. Very big BJ. Very long BJ. Ooh. But you're right, that is the word used on Africa. Broadcast jockey, just in case any of you guys are letting your minds not behave, or however you want to think of it. Next match, yeah. I'm trying to remember, what was the next match? Oh, it's the female streamer. Female streamers are always second set. Aegong versus Stargirl. So the overall record is really bad actually for Aegong, but Cadenzi's saying recently Aegong has gone 4-0 against Stargirl. So I don't know what to expect from this match. We'll just have to wait and see. And of course it will be on either Fighting Spirit or CB. I have not seen yet which map we're playing on today. I don't know, I don't usually see Larva over Flash on TL when I see the stats. Usually Flash is occupying the #1 spot. And yeah, A-Terran is Aegong. Richtig, du hast recht. Aegong is A-Terran. You're right, Aegong is A-Terran. It's true. Aegong is not A-Surd. Aegong is also not a Protoss. I have not heard that. That is interesting. Aegong has been practicing hard, though. I will give her credit for that. I've seen her stream listed all the time recently on TL, so like Aegong is taking this pretty seriously. She wants to be the one to dethrone Toss Girl, or rather, in this situation, I think it's fair to say she wants to prevent Toss Girl from reclaiming her own throne. Because for the longest time, Toss Girl sat on the throne, but now it's there for the taking. Cadenzi's been kind of sitting gently on it. She's been like Cadenzi's been sitting on it like it's Westeros, but Segi. Where does that term originate from? Like, where does it come from? Is the T like for Terran? TE maybe is Terran, and Segi or Tsagi or God knows, however I'm butchering the pronunciation of that, means something. That seems probable, I guess. Man, Brittany's chemistry. I'm gonna keep hyping up his chemistry because it's pretty impressive. Like, he just seems to know how to energize people and bring out like the energy in their personalities. I mean, maybe he's just lucky and everybody he works with is super personable, but something about it gives me the feeling that Brittany just has the right personality to do that. Okay, so yeah, it is TE for Terran. I was right about that. Oh, okay, I got you. So is SAG, is that a kind of like a colloquialism, a game term, like a gaming term, vernacular term, or is that just used in general to mean too strong? Aegong.
Shinhan Investment. Gamst. Round 2.
Wow, Aegong was being super cute there in those intros. She was putting on like maximum cute face. Alright, here we go. PVT. Aegong versus Sera, aka Stargirl. So, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner as the white Terran, we have Aegong. And in the top right-hand position as the teal Protoss, we have Sera. And we're going to switch the colors so they're not so identical. So as the blue Protoss, we have Sera, and as the red Terran, we have Aegong. So let's see what we get today. Yesterday we had a PvZ between, oh man, I'm going to forget who and who. But either way, the Protoss, Love was the Protoss. Love looked good for the first, like, 12 minutes. And then she was just like, I'm going to completely A-move into 7 Sunkens and 4 Lurkers and 2 Spore Colonies, and just lost her army and just almost comically died. It was really painful. Like, she was playing like someone that looked like she could be, you know, 1700, 1800, whatever, and then all of a sudden she went like full 1200 decision making, and it was literally like a move. There was like no micro noticeable outside of a storm or two. The Zealots were all in the front. She committed to the attack. It was very painful. So we're getting some win rates here for Aegong. Yeah, we can see there's the 4-13 record. That's a pretty abysmal record. But her overall record versus Protoss on this map is very good. So that is certainly encouraging for her. And build-wise, of course, we see that barracks down on the low ground, so I think we might be looking at a Rax expand, potentially, from Aegong, especially since there's no gas already at 13 supply. So some Rax CC action coming up here, and cross spawns, so that is really nice for Sera. As a Protoss, you know, what you really dread, though, is a Terran that spawns horizontally when you're horizontal from Terran on this map. That's a nightmare. Vertical spawns are all okay, cross spawns are the best, but horizontal spawns are just... Terran just takes their 4th and just naturally creeps right over to your natural, and you're just like, what do I do? Yes, Celiver is their sponsor. I don't actually know what Celiver does. Alright, so Zealot is out here for Sera. However, it's cross spawn. So I'll give plenty of time here for Aegong to get up her wall. Probably going to start a bunker. Should have a depot coming up as well here to complete the SimCity. Probe is doing a bit of harass here for Stargirl. And Aegong just busy microing away. Alright, Marine is out, so Probe needs to run. Probe, you gotta peace out, bro. The Zealot is... or you gotta go in the main, that works too. Gotta go in the main. Alright, so the Probe is gonna get out. We got 1 gate. Do we even have... Where's the core? We got gas. Where's the core? Show me the core. Here comes the Zealot. Okay, no bunker yet. Could delay the bunker, but the wall is set up here, so lots of micro potential for Aegong here. And the building path of the SCV is unfortunate for Aegong. The SCV stayed right in the same spot for enough time for the Zealot to get 3 hits, but the Zealot has been more or less ripped apart here, and almost perfect micro from Aegong outside of not maybe pulling the SCV off the bunker. Marines are going to immediately garrison that bunker, and the Zealot is going to try to run by, so she should pop out of the bunker, and there we go, head back to a ramp here. Oh! There's the first micro slip-up we've seen, but she does pull the Marine away in time, and that Zealot is more or less dealt with. And wow, we are continuing to see Zealots from Sera, so that core was not made. And the Dragoons are going to be very late, so as long as the Zealots don't run through like this and keep being really annoying, but they're taking so much damage running through, it's and a nice drill at the ramp will finish that Zealot off. So yeah, Aegong is shutting down this harass from Sera, and Sera's getting absolutely no mileage out of this, which is going to leave Sera with a pretty low Dragoon versus tank count, but she is expanding behind this, so she's going to have a pretty fast economy. Now, depending on what Aegong is doing, Aegong hasn't been slowed down by this, so if Aegong plays and gets 2 factories up and gets aggressive off this, it could be a little bit hard for Sera to hold, especially because she's staying with just one gate.
아니 석성이가 이렇게
아니 근데 변현재 선수보단 나아요.
And no, okay, we're going straight to eBay because Aegong doesn't know what's up. So Aegong is gonna play safe. That's really nice for Sera. That Aegong is gonna do that and not just throw down 2 or 3 factories with no academy, no turret. Nice manner probe there. Trapped in between the core and the pylon. But this is also nice from Aegong, getting that scout off, and she will know that she doesn't really have to build any turrets or do anything special because everything looks very, very normal and ordinary. Sera playing nice toss, but Aegong is already getting her academy and her engineering bay, so she'll miss some windows to be super aggressive, but she'll be able to tailor her play and like kind of optimize timings and stuff like that, and reactions because she'll have fast scans and turrets to build if for some reason Sera gets a shuttle. But given that we don't even see a robo started yet, and she's still on one gate, like, also she's floating a boatload of money. Where's her attention right now? Maybe she's waiting for 200 minerals for the robo. Yeah, 200 gas for the robo, but still her minerals are flying out of control. She should add gateways or expand or something like that, which I guess is what she's heading out to do. Yeah, okay, so the commentators are like, yeah, it makes sense. That's why her money was high, because she wanted to expand. Yeah, Aegong is on the left if you've watched her stream, and yeah, Stargirl is on the right. Alright, so tank is out here for Aegong. First tank. We're adding a second gateway and getting a robotics facility. That poor probe. That's beautiful probe trapping if it was PvZ. Stack those Corsairs up, but I don't think we're going to see Corsairs from Sera. It has been done in PvT before. It's not completely unheard of, but it's a flashy sort of catch your opponent off guard kind of thing rather than a I'm going to play this way on a routine basis. A third gate here for Sera. Now the 3 bases are out fast for Sera here, so if Sera macros hard, she can have a pretty fast max and be in a pretty good economic spot here against Aegong, especially because Aegong has gone for this relatively safe route and is not going to have a fast third base at all. Like, she had good Rax CC economy, but her third is not by any means fast, so I have a feeling that Sera's going to be able to hit some pretty good Protoss timings here. Now, the fact that the supplies are still pretty close, part of that is indicative of the Lost Zealots, but it does make me wonder how well Sera's been probing, because, I mean, the whole, having a good economic position and getting a good fast max is contingent on good probing, and if she was not doing such a great job of that, that's going to make it so she's unable to hit those nice timings that she wants to hit. Yeah, not much of an army for Sera, but she's fine with it for the moment, because she's got 3 gateways down now, and the 4 facts are only just now coming up for Aegong. No obs out yet, so Sera doesn't know exactly what's in the base, but we can see the gates are ahead. Sera is keeping up pretty comfortably in gate counts, and the army size is not that big for Aegong, who is going to... Yeah, that's weird that she got... Like, I don't know how well this is going to go for Aegong. I mean, if Sera gets greedy right now, it could be bad for her, but if she makes a shuttle, cuts probes maybe briefly, adds a gate or 2, which she's adding a bunch of gates, especially if that's a gate also on the left there, that's going to be, what, 6 or 7 gates? That's a lot of production. Add a shuttle in there. Should be fine. Should be fine. Against this timing attempt here by Aegong. Is Aegong coming right now and she's just gonna rally vultures? That would actually be an interesting timing. Like if Aegong went right now with these tanks and then just rallied vultures, maybe. But no, she's sieging up. Now that's weird. Building an extra turret at home and sieging up that's an odd choice, because that's just inherently going to slow down her timings a little bit. And with six factories, if she expands off this is also not going to make much sense. So I don't quite know what Aegong is up to right now. It's very confusing. It's very confusing. It's not the way I would play 6-fact. Like, there's no need to siege up. You're on 6 factories. You've scanned toss. Okay, so Stargirl is exploding with gateways, which is fine, but she's not probing very hard, as we can see, which is why her supply advantage is only small. It's not not what you'd expect from a 3-base toss that's been on 3-base for a while. Now, with the number of gateways she has, she's going to grow pretty fast, so that gap should expand, but I don't think she's going to hit the really good timings that she could have hit otherwise. But Aegong has for sure missed her window. If this game is being played well from Sera, I mean, Sera's had her third for ages. She's on a lot of gates, you know, so this shouldn't work. But if Sera has a poor engagement, and Sera has not been probing quite that well, she's behind the timings we'd usually expect from a Protoss that has taken a third this fast. But this is not really a timing Aegong is supposed to have. But she has, looking at what's out there on the map, no doubt Aegong has a scary army and well controlled, especially since the shuttle has not been made. This is going to be a problem for Sera. She is keeping her macro tight, but you know the supply advantage is not that high, and 6 Vax is a lot of reinforcements. And if these Dragoons get killed too early or whatever, or the engagement goes wrong, you know Sera can for sure lose the game or take major damage here. But Sera is exploding unit count. She's got a lot of zealots in there. And we'll just have to see how she wants to play this here. She needs to collect her army across the bridges, which she is doing, and then get it moving in a good arc. But she's let Aegong more or less just come across the map and siege up in a pretty nice spot. Aegong's also going to be able to lay mines. However, Aegong is kind of working on borrowed time here, simply because, well, it's a 3-base Protoss. Now, if Aegong was going like all in with, well, that's a bad siege. She's going to lose a tank carelessly, and she is attacking up a high ground, but it's sort of 6 one, half dozen the other. All right, this is not really the best way to engage here for Sera, but does Sera just have enough with high ground advantage to power through this? I don't know. She's going to need more zealots coming out or reinforcing behind this, but no, it looks like Sera has not taken the best engagement here. There's only Dragoons. And she did not thin that many tanks, and with 6-Vac reinforcement, that's pretty decent production. And Aegong is not expanding behind this, so this is very all-in from Aegong at this point, but a lot more reinforcing tanks. I hope Sera is taking to Arbiters behind this. If she's taking to Arbiters, then she's still going to be fine. But if she is not doing that, we'll have to see here, because now Aegong is taking a pretty good high ground siege position. Unfortunately, a lot of these tanks are kind of unsieged. I guess they want to kill the Zealots first and then siege up, and the Dragoon count is thinning now. She's pulling back. Now, are there a few more reinforcing Zealots? It looks like there are. There need to be reinforcing Vultures here from Aegong, and, well, Aegong continues to hold this position and has a powerful high ground position. If she gets a few more reinforcing... Oh, no! Aegong losing a tank and a Vulture here. What? Stargirl? Oh my god, please, stop. Please, just kill it. Alright, so reinforcing Vultures do arrive, and that's going to allow for a lot more mines to be laid. Can zone this army out a little bit more. I do kind of like what Stargirl is trying to do here, though. She's got an army out on the map, and she's intercepting these reinforcements, and if she gets a round or two of reinforcements and kills that off, that is completely going to weaken the pushing power here. And allow this to be stopped. And yeah, Aegong is handling this very poorly. This is nice from Stargirl, but now has she judged this right? She's sending in a group here. That's not enough. So Stargirl now taking her own turn to donate a few units, trying to flank, but the timing of it is a little miscoordinated, and that's going okay for Aegong, but the continued picking off of reinforcements is an issue. But again, the supplies are close. The army still looks scary. It still hangs in the balance. I really wish she would make a shuttle or have an arbiter or something going on. If either of those two happen, this push is dead for Aegong. It might still be dead anyway, but we're waiting to see what happens with reinforcements. I mean, Aegong is still being able to get reinforcements up here, and now Aegong has gotten the kill on the Nexus, and that starts to change things. Now, especially with that armory. And she hasn't tech behind us. Oh, okay. So Stargirl is kind of... She's doing some good things, but she's lost her Nexus, and she hasn't teched, whereas Aegong has an armory. So Aegong has been upgrading behind this. Wow, that was a good mind drag, though. Whereas Aegong has been upgrading behind this, and she's taking a 3rd base now. So economically, Aegong is gonna move into a good position, and you know she can maybe try to get a little more mileage out of these tanks, and then just defend at home, and she's fine. You know, there's no Arbiter tech, nothing like that. If there was recall out or something like that, that would be a bit more of an issue. But she just needs to be careful here in the short term to not get overrun by this mass from Sera. But these tanks on the high ground are being super efficient, and there's not obs. Well, never mind, there is an obs here. But the Zealot's melting. We're going to finally get on top of this, clear up these tanks. Aegong, it looks like, is hopefully going to stop reinforcing this. Stargirl re-expanding to a third, maybe to a fourth, but look at that gas bank. You know, she just... There was no reason for her not to tech. She had the economy. She should have done it. Tech is so valuable. Could have easily stopped that push with arbiters, or realistically even with a shuttle, and then wouldn't have lost her third. Now, Aegong has been very slow to establish her third, but now it's Aegong in a better economical position. But Stargirl does have a pretty large supply lead. She was efficient there, picking off a lot of Aegong's units for free, so she might have a bit of a window here where she could deal some damage to Aegong. But let's see, if Aegong just kind of turtles her heels in, gets a... Oh, that's not what you want to do. Stargirl trying to get her own goons to commit suicide, attacking each other. Stargirl, you're not your own enemy. I like this. Aegong is playing this smart. She knows she's ahead. She's getting a bunker. She's getting a depot. What the... Was that Vulture? Did it have the bug where it, like, tried to attack? And now it's just being completely retarded? I think that's what happened. So that's really unfortunate. So only just now a Stargate starts. 15 minutes, 30 seconds of the game, we get our Stargate coming down. Finally she notices the Vulture, but not until after 2 cannons were made. I don't know what caused that Vulture to glitch out. That was pretty funny, though. And yeah, Science Vessel on the way. Miss Rally Goliath there going to its death. And looks like there's enough to hold right now here for Aegong. And as that third base eco kicks in, and she gets another fact or two down, we should see this supply gap start to close a little bit. But I think Aegong likes where she's at. She's got Vessel Tech out well before Arbiters. Her upgrades should be humming along. I would like to click back and see if she added a second armory and if she got that second armor upgrade pretty promptly. It's still spinning, so I'm assuming this has got to be +2 attack on the way. +2 armor will be a little bit delayed. I guess it could be armor, but hopefully it's +2 attack. That is the slightly more significant upgrade, but the armor upgrade is nice, particularly against Zealots, reducing that damage by double factor since Zealots are actually 2 hits of 8. And upgrades starting finally now for Sera. That probe is still trapped. And alright, finally, we're going to have like 20-minute arbs. 20-minute arbs. Scan's still going down. Now the supply gap has not quite closed yet. And now that Stargirl has 4 bases, you know, Aegong has expanded slow enough that, you know, Stargirl is definitely still in this game. Now, she needs to be careful here and make sure she doesn't max with just like 0 arbiters or really even 1 arbiter. She would like to max with you know 3 to 4 arbs in her composition here. So she'd be careful with that. And she's going to come over here and apply a little bit of pressure towards Aegong's 4th base. But if Aegong sends a few tanks over, she should be okay. Actually, she's committing to this with all of her army though. And there is a 30 supply advantage, but this is a very narrow corridor. It's a difficult place to attack, and remember, there's no ARB support here, no stasis coming. Although Aegong does need to bring more stuff over. This is not enough to deal with a full Protoss army assault here. Trying to get the Zealots on top of the tanks. They're not doing that yet. Now, if she just starts to lay some mines, though, yeah, she's bringing the rest of her army. This is pretty comfortably handled by Aegong, and we can see this is not an efficient trade here for Stargirl at all. And it closes the supply gap a little bit and comfortably secures Aegong her 3rd, so that went, or Aegong her 4th, so that went just fine for Aegong. Alright, so 5th base coming up here for Sera. I would really like to see Sera take another main though, so she can start adding gateways elsewhere. She's getting close to max, so her minerals are obviously going to start to skyrocket here. Unless Aegong's going to move out right now. I think it's a little early for Aegong to move out. She doesn't have her 2-1. And she's only 160 supply, which is not Terran's strength. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the greatest attack from Sera, but at least Sera didn't like suicide her army. Now, I think Sera's made that mistake. I guess she could still get 1 more Arb in there, but she's kind of made that mistake of maxing with just an Arbiter. And if she doesn't make at least a 2nd one, which at the moment doesn't look like she is, that's a big deal. Because, well, Gateway Protoss just doesn't fight very well. Aegong, do you have 2-1? Okay, Aegong does have 2 attack. Well, this is not a good initial start from Aegong, although she does have a lot of tanks on the high ground, but a lot of stuff unsieged, and a lot of zealots do die quickly, so that is going to force Sera back for the moment. But Sera has a pretty big army. I wonder how probed up she is. Let's see, where is Aegong at? Aegong is at pretty good supply, but again, she's not sieged up, and there's no mines, so Sera has the opportunity here to have a pretty favorable engagement. Now, Aegong is getting everything sieged up, and slowly moving forward, and needs to pull those vultures back, though, as Aegong backs up and then moves back in here. But Aegong doesn't have that many zealots left, so she just basically needs to retreat now and wait for more zealots. Pure Goon is not going to fight this. And Aegong is very much kind of slow pushing this across the center of circuit breakers here. She's just kind of unsieging and leapfrogging her back tanks. It still looks like Sera has a huge army. I don't know if that's because it's Dragoon heavy. That's 2 groups there, 2.5 groups. There's at least 3 groups. Okay, she's got an Arbiter out. Now she'll have better Arbiters in her max. But Sera appears to be reinforcing a bit faster here than Aegong, but she's just not getting her army spread out very well, and now she's kind of overcommitting to this fight, and she's starting to lose quite a few Dragoons. Needs to pull those back. Okay, so a lot of Dragoons going down, and for the first time, Aegong takes the supply lead and still has the army in the center. And in all honesty, these circuit breaker center fights are one of the things in StarCraft I don't understand at all. Like, how many games have we seen where Protoss just loses a center fight to Terran on circuit breaker and then loses, right? But it makes little sense because the center of circuit breaker is unbuildable and wide open, which is like a Protoss dream for engagements. But so often engagements go poorly. And now Aegong is getting set up with a very nice position on the map. Oh, the Science Vessel is over. It missed. Wow, so Science Vessel suicides for nothing. Bit of a vessel mistake there. But Sera has not added gates to another main, and she's getting dangerously close to being choked out. She's going to lose at least a base here. Siege up, siege up, siege up, siege up. There we go. Alright, she's trying to add gateways to another main, which is a wise decision here for Sera, but there's not much of a bank to work off of. Arbiter going out, quite a ways away from a recall, though. Could throw a stasis down, but the tanks are very nicely spread here from Sera, and in a pretty good line. And I think Sera's running out of options, and Aegong is looking pretty good for this game. Aegong could be expanding to the bottom bases, the bottom right, maybe. But outside of that, it's looking pretty good. It looks like Sera's going to swing around to the other side of Double Bridges here with her army. No, she can't come down that high ground pod into that narrow of a choke, even with high ground advantage. And Aegong is getting pretty close to a max. We can see she's got a lot of extra minerals there. And, alright, so now she's got control of these bridges. And this is usually not a good fight for Protoss when you're coming across bridges like this with your army. And so forced to retreat. And this time, she even lands the EMP on the Arbiter, so that takes care of recall threat right now. Remember, I think there's only one Arbiter. There might be a second Arbiter over here. Yeah, one other Arbiter. That one's probably at about 115, 120 energy. Oh, even less than that. So, yeah, this army being out here is a little bit annoying. She is going to clean up these tanks, which is good for her, but she's losing and in danger of losing most of her economy, and Aegong is just kind of slow pushing her way towards the third base and fourth base now of Sera, and if Aegong gets those bases, which I don't see how Sera's going to stop her. I mean, unless Sera does an amazing counter, Aegong has not left much defense at her fourth base, at her 6 o'clock, but Sera's going to lose 2 bases here, and that's basically all of her mining. We see there's no probes over at the 5th, so that's going to put Sera in a terrible position economically, so she really needs something to do damage to Aegong, but she's distracted here. Her army's in a few pieces, and she's not able to keep up with all of that, and she's just kind of bleeding units all the time all around here. Trying to get some zealots on top of these tanks. That's not happening. Oh, trying to run past. Wow, that's even more of a disaster. That was not well handled by Aegong. Well, the Arbiter suicide, so this is very comfortably defended, and now Sera's lost her base. She's mining from one base. Maybe there's no minerals on natural. She's mining from one base. Aegong is comfortably mining from 2 bases and has a giant army out on the field here. So, yeah. We'll see where I guess Aegong is just going to come across the bridges and push the 4th base. And say Aegong could also swing around and siege up the other main base of Sera, but no mining over there. I guess a few probes have finally gotten over there now, but not that much. and she's about to be losing her 12 o'clock, and there it is, GG. So comfortable win there for Aegong to tie this series up, right? At 2-2. Oh, she's hyped. She's hyped.
너무나 중요하죠. 배병훈 선수가 첫 경기 때 너무 아쉽게 패배를 했기 때문에 애공이 반드시 잡아줬어야 되는데 이게
Wow, she's very excited. She's very excited. She was worried for a while, I guess, that she wasn't going to win. Now she's like, I did it. I won. I killed that nerd.
상대는 더 실수했네. 애공잖아요.
그런 것 같아요.
She's like, get out. Get out.
정말 좋아할 수밖에 없는
She's super hyped.
자신의 손에 따라서 1대1 균형을 맞춰버렸어요.
그렇습니다.
Yeah, you throw in tournament pressure and stuff, and I mean, you know, let's face it, you know, obviously the female players are not 10-year Kespa pros. I think most of them are in the top ones are in the range of 2K MMR, which is solid, but you know, it's not going to look like a Korean pro gamer game by any stretch of the imagination. All right, so we are tied 1-1, boys and girls, and we're going to be looking to set number 3, and then sets 4 and 5 are our big matches. Best versus Leta and Harang versus Flash are 4 and 5. I forget which matchup match 3 is. But we're guaranteed to see Flash play today because we're already at 1-1. So that is encouraging. And then we'll see how my call of 3-3 and then ace match that Flash wins is. That's what I said at the beginning of the cast. And I'm going to stick to that prediction.
그다음부터 전투를 계속 또 못했어요.
그러니까 이제 좀 약간 그 차이인 것 같아요. 전투할 때 자신감 있게 들어가는 게 아니라 이 병력 질 것 같은데 하면서 좀 약간 뒤로 빠지는 모습들이 거기서 좀 약간 손해를 많이 본 것 같습니다.
Triple casters. It'd be fun to do sometime. Be there live with like 2 other people and just go at it. Have some fun.
그렇죠. 일단은 정말 치고받고 박빙의 싸움을 예상했는데 이 3세트도 정말 중요한 경기.
I want to say match 3 was a PvP, but maybe not. I don't think there's enough Protest players for that to make sense. Or was it Shine versus somebody? Maybe it was Shine's match. Anybody remember? Able to cast their minds back to an hour ago? What our third match is? Who we have playing? They haven't shown it on stream yet, so. Elmaster, Nyoken, and Artosis. That would be intimidating, man. Those guys know their stuff. It'd be fun, but it'd be intimidating. I would just have to not be awake at 4 a.m. and surviving finals week. Then I would have crazy energy. Although if I was casting live, I would just have crazy energy anyway, because it'd be live, and I'd be like, oh my god, I'm live casting Korean Professional Brood War. Actually, honestly, if I was with those two, anybody like that, live casting even foreign Brood War, I'd still be like, oh my god, it's live, I'm casting real in a booth with other people, what? Leta versus Best is coming up as match 4. Tasteless is an excellent shoutcaster, but I don't know. The only thing I don't understand is I feel like some of Tasteless's Brood War knowledge, I feel like it just like disappeared and never really came back. I mean, Artosis has obviously always been solid, and since he started playing again reasonably seriously, like he's noticeably improving like in his gameplay, and of course that's good for your knowledge too. You know, he's catching more. He's picking up a lot more stuff. We could cut to Elmaster's bedroom. Yeah, my unmade bed in the background. Yeah, it's pretty tragic. It's pretty tragic. It's actually now 6:30 a.m. though. I think we're about to go into match number 3. Oh yeah, we are.
Shinhan Investment. Shine. Round 3.
right, here we go into game 3, and it turns out it is in the top left-hand corner as our yellow Terran Organ, aka Piano. And on the right-hand side for Shinhan as our legendary Zerg, the Observer God himself, Shine, the bag of builds. And actually this matchup is pretty exciting because Shine is bag of builds, aggressive, clever, etc. And Piano is 2-base harassment TVZ Godmaster guy. Slightly kamikaze, sort of, you could say, the heir to Berserker's throne of that style of play. Loves dropships, loves to play 2-base, just gets crazy. He'll run by, there'll be like 3 lurkers in the natural, and there'll be a dark swarm, and he'll just be like, no, I'm just gonna run by this and like run into your main, and he does crazy stuff. But it works, he's good TVZ especially. His TVP and his TVT are lackluster, certainly in comparison. I would say lackluster in general, but yeah, guy knows how to play TVZ. A very, very aggressive style. Usually doesn't just sit back and be like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and turtleneck and whoa, 9 pull speed coming out right out of, nope, never mind. 9 pull with gastric for Shine. This is getting weird. This is getting weird. Draco, missing Draco. Why is Draco inspiring? Draco was before my time, though. Like, that's not a knock on Draco. Like, I'm not saying. It's just like a legit curiosity question. Like, he was kind of before. He was more like 2005, 2006. I really started following Brewcore in 2008. Alright, so out comes the scouting SCV here for Oregon. And is it going to head in the correct direction? Yes, it is. So he will be able to see the Lings coming towards his base. And should be able to prepare accordingly. And not get run over. Alright, so hatchery goes down for Shine. Oh yeah, this isn't overpulse though. Isn't sorry, 9 pull speed, so this is not like all that scary. It'll just be a simple exercise, block the ramp, get a marine out, yada yada yada. So drone gets in, drone leaves, drone goes home. Yeah, Organ needs to pull another SCV or 2 to the ramp though, so he's doing that right now. Bringing up 4 SCVs, setting that block up here. That marine is a little out of position though. There we go. We got 2, so should it move here and then move right back? Ah, nice pull. There we go. Good micro from Piano. That's how you do it. Those SCVs had just enough time that the Lings will be softened up too much, and you just F2 back to your minerals and pull them. Oh, Piano, what was that? SCV pathing. Piano was slightly AFK on the SCV, got some weird pathing, it got stuck on the Lings and suied. So no scouting intel for Piano. He does know that Shine made more Zerglings. Not necessarily a surprise. Shine loves his aggressive play, just like Piano does. Although Piano to me, like Shine is more of an early mid-game aggressive player. Piano is just more of a mid or mid-late game aggressive and slightly kamikaze player. You know, I don't think of like Piano as doing like crazy all-ins. He just stays on 2 bases a long time and really likes to use dropships and do just very aggressive things. Rather, maybe more aggressive like control rather than aggressive builds, if that makes sense. Whereas Shine does aggressive builds. Or clever builds, or however you want to call them. I mean, some of Shine's builds are just legitimately clever. I mean, they're aggressive by nature, but they're clever. And out comes the command center here for Oregon. Of course, had to build it in the main on the high ground. Feels pretty delayed though to me. Kamikaze, man. Those kind of Terrans are so stressful to play against as a Zerg. Like when you're chilling at home and you got like a lurker or 2 and like a sunk, and then all of a sudden Terran's like running past, and you're like usually it doesn't work out. but it's still super stressful. You're like, what is this Terran doing? If this works out, I'm gonna kill myself. What? Oh, okay. Shine loses the Ling, then backs on up. Shine just ripping out that APM, using those ex-pro gamer skills. Spire on the way here for Shine, which actually looks pretty standard from Shine, which you don't see very often. I mean, that's just 3 hatches and a Spire, guys. That's normal. That's normal. Pretty big supply lead though for Piano, as Shine, of course, made 6 Lings, and then made another 6 Lings, some other stuff. You know, he's made a lot of Lings, hasn't gotten much mileage out of them. That slows down everything a little bit. That's not a fast Spire timing by any stretch of the imagination. It was down to like 5 minutes, which is on the slow end of Spire timing, especially with that particular drone count. I mean, it's not like Shine's way behind, but it's not, you know, it's a few drones behind where he would normally be, and probably 10 seconds behind on Mira. But of course, Piano did have to CC in the main and float out, so that'll slow Piano down just a little bit. And the barracks, of course, coming up here for Piano. Looks like +1's pretty close. Should be starting or working on range right now. Wow, Shine is really defending back at home. Scan goes off, does not find the Spire. Ah, Shine, you clever devil. But he is going to see that 3 eggs are morphing, which is usually a pretty telltale sign in and of itself. Isn't Shine on the older end of things? I would think Shine's been in the army. I'm not. Oh, dancing SCV, getting so dizzy in there. And of course, the factory starting very promptly here from Piano. So we're gonna have the tech out nice and fast here to go with this pressure. And Mutalisk's out now for Shine. So let's see how the control looks. Turrets are going up in a hurry here. Oh, this is going to be close. I think he's actually going to get here before the turrets finish. Shine. Oh, wow, that timing. That was pretty damn good by Piano. Like, if it would have been a second earlier, that would have been just, like, god tier status. It was still pretty good, though. Loses 1 SAD, but his 3 turrets finish in sequence all on time. And now just going to swing around here. We can see the Hydra Den is up. Now, I don't think he threw down a very fast Queen's Nest. I hope I didn't just miss that, but I didn't see a Queen's Nest anywhere in there. So that is going to mean that the tech timing for Organ is going to be great, and he's going to have some serious pre-hive aggression potential. I think that's going to force Shine to play heavier on units. And coming in now with Muta here, just trying to clear out a few of these turrets, do a bit of harass on the SV, slow down the economy for Piano just a little bit, dives in, gets 3 or 4 kills, doesn't really take any major losses, picking off a Marine, comes back, gets a gas SCV. You can see the factory is done. And Shine's flying out. Now, how much damage did he take in the process from that? I imagine a decent bit. But Hydra are out now. And the 3rd base going down for Shine, walking those Hydra over there. He actually should, well, if they stop, which they did stop, they're not continuing to walk towards the 3rd base, which is a bit of a surprise, because he needs them to morph if he wants to deal with this group of Marine Medic rolling out across the map. And alright, here we go. Are we going to make the 3rd base? No, Shine's waiting on money. He might be prioritizing Queen's Nest and Hive or something like. Oh, Piano! Oh, Shine's going to dive on that tank. And Piano went for that really fast. So that is not what Piano wanted. Shine does lose a Muta or 2 in the process. And the fact that he left those Hydra back there is really unfortunate. Because he's now going to lose. What? Piano, please. Please, Piano, come on. What are you doing, Piano? What? You guys, are you watching this mini-map? Piano's like, no, I don't want to kill your 3rd. Actually, whoa, my god. Okay, Piano's like really AFKing this, or I don't know what he's doing here. But he completely misses those lurkers. He's got a big-ass army, though. Let's be honest. That's a lot of units. Shine, he sent 1 drone back, or something, 1 Marine back, and that was enough to get Shine to cancel his hatch. Shine now just rebuild his hatch at the 3rd, so Shine's doing some weird stuff down at the 3rd base. And, this is, like, undefended, but he does have flank with lurkers as a possibility, but that's a big army from Piano. I think this is a big enough army to just win. But actually, with these Lurker morphing here, if he pigeons him in hole a little bit here, this might all fall down. But the Lurkers need to come forward here. And let's see how the target firing is. Now it's just unsupported Lurkers, so these Marines can still get some damage done. Drones are being pulled, and they will surround the Marines off, but that's going to hurt the mining. It will all die. He does clean up that rather terrifying army. But Shine has, or Piano has still delayed the third base. Forced to cancel on that. Killed off most of the Lurkers. He's still got fast tech timing. He's going to go into his signature drop play. And Shine, we saw he only had 3 or 4 Lurkers, and not a whole lot of other units. Okay economy, but just not a lot of units. And he's still only on 3 hatches production-wise. And gas. Oh, but Piano messing up here. Going to lose a tank. A little bit sloppy. And you guys see what I'm talking about with Kamikaze? Like, did you see that? There were like 3 Sunkens and some Lurkers, and Lurkers popped, and Piano still running. Oh, hold Lurkers. Eviscerating the army of Piano here. This is the kind of stuff Shine needs to do. Surprised he's trying to push forward this far. Yeah, he decides, okay, that's a bad idea. But the dropship now flying in. Overlord not along that flight path, so this dropship is not spotted till right about now. And Marines unloading. Drones could drill on that, but a few too many. Now Defilers are out for Shine, so Shine running back here with the Defiler. Looks like the Spire is going to be target fired, and the Spire should die. I think that's enough to kill it. Never mind. No medics. No medics. No units. No whatever. So Shine forced a drone drill to save the Spire, and then of course quickly splitting his drones to get back on gas. So that first drop not doing a lot here for Piano, and in typical Piano style, no fast third expansion coming up. Just dropships and harassment, maybe a vessel here or there, but mostly dropships and constant pressure. Dropship flying in here. Wow, Shine has a hell of a good arc, but does he have Scourge? And the answer appears to be no. So then the question becomes, does he have a Nidus Canal? Which he does. So he should be fairly okay. He's got the Scourge out now. And there we go. Organ runs in, and he will just run at anything. Lurkers on high ground? No, it doesn't matter. Oh, is he going to try to split here? Nope, he's just not able to pay attention to this. And he's going to try the 3 Marine Nidus snipe, and that's huge if he gets it! He does! Oh my gosh. Okay, so that third base suddenly becomes a lot more vulnerable, but he's unable to keep up with the multitasking on both fronts because he is not baby. He does not have the multitask to do complete control of either of these. Good Scourge split, though, from Shine, but a few Marines still do get down. Although so far, Shine's defense has been okay, and if he can keep defending for another minute or two, he will actually be in an okay spot. However, he is kind of getting disrupted economically, having to build a lot of drones, losing a few here and there, definitely having to run drones a lot. Finally going to come back and get that Spire. That is already low on health, remember, so that will fall this time. And now Shine coming up with another Lurker, but the Lings are just kind of bleeding in, and this is giving Shine a lot to think about, and another reinforcement coming across the map here for Organ. So Shine is going to need to get a swarm down there. The Natural Defiler goes forward. Whoops. So Shine is starting maybe now to fall apart to the constant aggression to Piano. Piano doesn't even have medics, but he gives 0 fucks. He just goes for it and goes for it. A swarm goes down. He will pull... See, this is what I mean by his kamikaze. Like, he doesn't care, but it's too much, and Shine eventually succumbs here to the power of dropships and Piano's relentless harass TVZ. Yeah, that's definitely Piano style. And you're right, it was weird to see Shine play standard. He doesn't usually play direct standard. I mean, Shine's not terrible, but Piano's a tough one. Piano's a tough cookie. Tough cookie. When it comes to harassment style PvZ. Alright, so Shine falls, and Shine is which team is Shine on? I actually forget off the top of my head. I'm gonna look it up right here. Or okay, so Shine is on Shinhan, so 2-1 as they update it there for K-League Gamst, which is also the team of that's the team of Larva. Yeah, okay, Flash is on Shinhan. So now we get our first big match. Best versus Leta. Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. Reach is god level coach. Yeah, just because like if you have Reach as your coach, just the amount of inherent confidence you get from having the man toss coaching you, like, you know, like that's just gonna boost your ego. Like that level of confidence and swagger and whatever, just it's gonna rub off by default. He doesn't even need to coach you. He just like by hanging out with Reach, your confidence just grows. So Best versus Leta. Honestly, I think Best is just going to roll Leta right over. Best is, well, PVT's his best matchup. He's got very strong PVT. I want to say Best PVT was pretty close. Snow also. Best and Snow were both pretty close PVT to Stork, who is the best PVTer of all time. Hello, hello, hello. Korean viewer, Korean name viewer. Welcome. Flash, Aegong. We've got one of our little mini commercial breaks. Like some RPG. Yeah, it kind of is. Larva's persona, man. Larva's persona. Oh, we come back, and Nalra's gone. Guys, Brittany did it. Brittany ate Nalra. You guys got to see this. Brittany ate Nalra. He's gone. He's gone. It happened, guys. It really happened. Brittany needed to feed those shoulders. He needed to feed those traps. Nalra has been devoured in search of more protein. It was fun while it lasted. Thanks for the memories, Nalra. Thanks for the memories. Okay, and then Nalra fortunately walks back into screen and saves us all.
아니 손도 안 씻고 왔어요. 아니 그 정도로 해설에 열정 있는 거 아니겠습니까?
손안 씻었지 너?
아니 해설 소리가 들리니까 제가
손안 씻었지 너?
경솔했습니다. 제가 경솔했습니다.
오늘 경솔 행동을 굉장히 많이 하시네요.
미쳐버리겠어요. 예. 자, 네 정말 힘들어요.
God, I still can't get over how jacked Brittany looks. He looks so ripped to me.
아니 씻고 오라고 하는데 그 5432 할 때 씻고 오세요. 그때 5초 시간 드릴게요. 어때요?
알겠습니다.
괜찮습니까?
꼭 씻고
5초 오케이.
근데
알겠습니다.
중요한 건 지금 야,
Legit, he looks like a tank.
안 통해요, 저는.
조용히 좀 해봐요. 조용히 좀 해봐요. 지금 네 번째 경기 다 해주세요 우리가. 오재욱과 신상훈 지금 벌써 경기 준비가 완료됐어요.
완료됐습니까?
중요한 건
네.
한마디만 하고 갑시다.
네.
오재욱과 신상훈이 만났는데 감스트 K리그 2대1로 이기고 있다는 거예요.
맞습니다.
그런 상황에서 여기서 오재욱이 나왔어요.
StarCraft Mom gets really intense with her gestures. They're like powerful. Ripped, yeah, ripped like jacked, like muscular, like, you know, bulked up, like power lifter. No, the thing is though, if someone's just fat, right, and they wear tight shirts, they look, well, fat. They look soft. Brittany looks like he has giant traps. Like, look at the difference between Nalra and Brittany in the shoulders. Like, you know, Nalra's shoulders just look normal, right? Like Brittany's like pokes out in a way that looks muscular, and the way his traps sit up, it's like he's got huge traps. 52k viewers, not bad. I think we had over 60k in day 2. But yeah, still sick viewership. 50k viewers, not bad. Alright, here we go. It's Grand Line. We have Best versus Leta in the bottom left-hand corner of Grand Line. As the purple Protoss, we have the macro toss himself, Best. And in the top right-hand position as the White Terran, we have Leta. Wraithman. Probably won't see Wraiths here. Sorry, Haya in some ways sort of stole Leta's Wraithman crown from him with that game on Triathlon. Like, Haya is the only person I know to go Wraiths against Protoss. Which, for a guy whose signature move is Wraiths, you know. Man, I miss Haya. That dude was flashy. He was fun. He had the best builds. He played some really fun games against Protoss. Of course, he had a baller TVZ build where he would, rather than going for Vessel, he would actually go for Nuke and get a Vessel with it. And he would come with an early Nuke and a Vessel and cloak his Ghost. And then if Zerg tried to attack the Ghost to block the Nuke, like the Ghost was to block the Sunkens, right? Or to kill the Sunkens and Lurkers. And so if Zerg went to kill the Ghost, he would just dematrix the Ghost and the Nuke would still go off. And he would win games like that pretty often. And he had some really awesome PvT game or TVP games where he would play Bio and he would like do Wraith transitions and snipe Reavers and Templar like almost like a Zerg will. And he had some good games. He beat some good players doing that too. Like it wasn't like he just ganged up on guys who would have been like, you know, D or C rank on Fish. Like he was beating legit players. Yeah, he did try to go versus Rain, but he didn't really get any good nukes off. It was pretty funny watching him try. That was weird though, like because I didn't understand why he was trying that. Like I didn't feel like it was a legitimate idea, like he needed to do it. And KSL is a pretty premier tourney. It was fun, but it was odd. And yeah, it was Leta who just nuked Rain. Tried to anyway. But it was fun, you know, it was certainly entertaining, but I feel like the round of 8 of KSL is usually not the place to go for heavy entertainment. That's the place where you win, man. That's where you want to win. Save the entertainment for, I don't know, spawn matches. Stuff like that. Alright, so Best has a gate, has Robo. Starting his range, probably not faking range. Best is pretty comfortable. Nice, okay. Probe gets away. Best is pretty comfortable playing standard, and for good reason, because his PvT is among the best in the world. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a Protoss with a better PvT. You could maybe say Rain, but I don't know if I would feel comfortable saying Rain. And you could probably say Snow. But those would be the only two that you could possibly put in that category. Best, of course, kept that probe alive, and for the moment he has a probe at Terran's doorstep. Well, let's see, is Best babysitting it? Yes, he is. Probe starts to move, so he will keep that probe alive here. That's such a nice thing to have in this early game as Protoss. You can get a sense of what Terran is doing, and where it's really, really nice, and where I think it's just wonderful to keep a probe alive, is if you come to Terran's ramp and you can't get a read on what they're doing, right? Like they've got a wall or you can't get up there, right? So you leave the probe with the natural, and one of two things will happen. If it is a 2-factory, then Terran will come down the ramp, and you'll see them coming across the ramp. But if it's a fact port, then Terran won't come down from their ramp. And if they don't come down after, you know, the point where they should have come down for 2-factory, then you can send 3 or 4 Dragoons back and like reposition all your Dragoons comfortably to defend the incoming Vulture harass and not take major damage. Yeah, he didn't play very well against those carriers, did he? Yeah, this would be a map I would be okay with in the ladder. It's a good map. There were some very nice games on this map. Ah, Cadenzi has a fan. And I believe she is watching, as far as I know. But I don't know, I'm okay with ladder maps. We have a pretty decent spread. You know, FS and Circuit Breakers should probably always be ladder maps. It's good to have them there. And then we've got a foreign map there. I don't like Roadkill, though. I could do with never seeing Roadkill again. Aztec, I'd probably rather have, like, Grand Line than Aztec, but then again, Grand Line is kind of another 4-player large macro map, so I think the ladder maps are okay. They're not my particular favorites, but in terms of, like, a robust, varied ladder map pool, I think what we got's pretty good. Alright, so a few SCVs coming over here. Are we going to do a timing attack? Or are we going to make turrets? No, we're going to make turrets. Because Best has a shuttle coming across the map. So Leta is going into defensive mode. Does Leta have an academy? No, Leta does not have an academy. Flash is playing Harangue too. That is actually our next game after this. Guaranteed to happen. Okay, so Leta is just like, turret ring, your shuttle doesn't get to come in here. Now, if there was a DT in that shuttle, he could get the DT down, but he's not getting in with a Reaver. He will die if he attempts to fly in. And he already takes a hit, so that's not a good start. And I think he realizes, oh, okay, well, you invested a lot in turrets, I don't really need to harass you, and my Reaver still has potential when your push comes out, so I think Best will be reasonably happy with this. And okay, Leta's getting a starport. And adding a depot, so he's gonna get the extra starport to get the Wraith out and deal with that shuttle. And even bringing a few Vultures back, wow, so Leta is really playing safe against this drop. But he's invested a decent amount in turrets, that was like, what, 5 turrets or so? In addition to everything else, Best is going to go ahead and grab that third base. I keep noticing he has this probe or something else over at 9 o'clock base as well. I'm curious if he just wants that there for scouting. Maybe that's a pylon to look. I don't know if it's a pylon or a probe. Alright, so now Best has possibly 2 Reavers in that shuttle, in which case I would expect to see shuttle speed if that's what he has. It'll also be good against the Wraith. He can get away if he accidentally runs into the Wraith. Whereas the slow shuttle is absolutely 100% completely doomed. And still, Leta is keeping a bunch of units back here. I guess Leta is worried about the possibility of a 2 or 3 shuttle mass toss drop. Now, I don't think Best has 2 shuttles on the map. As far as I know, yeah, there's the speed. But unless I'm missing something, and he's been keeping another shuttle out on the map. Oh, actually it's a dropship from Leta. Alright, this is interesting. But this means a pretty slow expansion from Leta, so this drop really needs to do damage, or Leta's going to get pretty far behind. Third base is already online for Best. It's not even remotely started for Leta, and Leta doesn't have facts either. He's only got 2 facts, so Leta is really playing for this drop to do damage. So if that's a spotter, well, whatever that is, that spotter thing for Best at 9 o'clock is going to pay some huge dividends. And finally we see a third base starting. That's like ages behind the third base though here from Leta, although it's impressive to see Leta here off 2 base. Within shouting distance of Best's supply. That's unusual given how well Best macros. I mean, that is just his thing. Okay, so the probe is spotted, but that is a really nice probe. So let's see if that shuttle comes back. No, the shuttle doesn't come back. Well, but there are Dragoons moving into position here. Okay, so 1 Dragoon attacking the shuttle, 1 Dragoon attacking the Vulture here. And let's see if Leta can get some kills. He really would like to. He's getting a few in the gas, which is good. A lot of probes are being forced to being pulled. I guess that means Dragoons are probably not close to being done in those gateways. The Vulture in the natural has been finished off. Probably got 1 probe, but not much more. And now 4 short Dragoons. But the direction here for the Dragoons from Best, not the best. And these Vultures are actually getting a decent number of kills out of that. I think they all got about 1 or 2 kills per Vulture, which is more than an okay trade. Although, as slow as the third base is, I think Leta would have liked to trade a little bit more favorable even than that. And just now, a few more factories coming up for Leta. The dropship has not been run home. And, oh, Wraith Assassination! So that is pretty good. He's going to get those 2 Reavers dropped. He can come and he's going to try to come assassinate those. But notice that Best is immediately bringing his army over there, trying to protect those and escort those Reavers to safety. I'm pretty confident we're not going to see a Crawl Reaver attack from Best. Pretty damn confident of that. Wait, you don't believe that Tyson is going to smash Larva's face in? Man, where's your faith, bro? It's Tyson. It's Tyson. Best is going to take a 4th base. Island 4th. So grab that Island 4th, cannon it up, and it's in pretty good position for drops. The factory explosion happening now for Leta and Best is slowly opening up that supply lead. By the end of this year, we should see a pretty good supply lead for Best. He's had that third ages ahead. He's taking his fourth base. His gateways are coming up. And, I mean, that is the sign of Best's impeccable macro, is how long Best can stay on low gateway count and still spend all his money and get ahead of his opponent in supply. It's just perfect production, never comes close to missing a cycle, just optimal spending. And it allows him to have less gates but more units than just about everybody else. And he Best has his tech on the way and everything here. But now he's really getting his gateways down, so units are about to be flooding out from Best. I don't hate Tyson. He's just bad. He has bad results. Cadenzi says apparently he gets really nervous. Supposedly plays a bit better in practice. But he's lost every game I've ever seen him play. Is Best actually going to attack? I doubt it, but he's just kind of sitting up there on the high ground. He's sending probes over here, getting this fourth base up and running. And wow, I'm really honestly surprised at the supplies right now. Leta is working some voodoo magic here to be anywhere near Best. Especially given that Best has had that third base for ages. I mean, yeah, the vultures from Leta killed a few probes, but it wasn't like Leta just obliterated the probe mineral line. Unless, of course, Best is actually just delaying unit production in favor of gateways, because he now has a boatload of gateways. So if he's delaying unit production in order to have the gateways online faster, then this makes sense. But if he's producing constantly, I'm a little confused. Looks like Leta wants to take that same base, and Leta unsieging now. Now, there's not 2-1, so I don't think Leta's going to push out yet. But, I don't know, he does have all his army unsieged and moving around like he wants to. Best has an obs over this. No vessel yet. Okay, so Best picks up the Reaver. Good control there. We're getting a few Dragoons being trapped. But are those Reavers in range of the mines? The answer is maybe. Now, Best, I don't think he actually wants to fight here. Apparently he does. And all of a sudden, it's just tanks here. And Reaver's getting off good shots. There's also no vessel here. So this appears to be really horribly misjudged from Leta. Yeah, I don't know what that was. There was not 2-1. There was not vessels. That was YOLO swag. Suicide Terran. So Leta just throws away his entire army. And I think Best just wins from here. He's got like 12 gateways. I don't know what that was. I said Best was going to roll Leta. Best is going to roll Leta. Let's be real. That was just painful. That was just painful. I don't understand that at all. What was Leta thinking? Oh, oh, man. Well, Leta, what are you doing? What? Okay. Was it like completely walled off? Like, was there any reason there for Leta not to run his SCVs? Was he worried they'd clump up or something with where the Reaver was positioned? But he didn't even try to spread them. That was. This game is just getting weird from Leta. It started out fine. He was macroing like a boss, and then he's like, "Well, I'm gonna go attack Protoss on a high ground with no vessels against his Reavers and only like one Goliath." When he's got a whole army and commit to it, and then siege up even after I have no vultures and he's got lots of dragoons or lots of zealots and an arbiter, and then he just didn't run his SCVs against the Reaver. And now Best is 80 supply ahead and is going to start the the Protoss recall magic. So say goodbye to natural mining. Let's just be mining one base. Remember, all the SCVs just died in the third. Now there's this recall here in this base. Not even siege tanks, so half the SCVs die instantly, and a few others are going to run away. Now, Leta will clean this up, but the mining is delayed here. And yeah, this means Leta is just forever stuck on 2 bases, 3 bases, however you want to think of it right now. I guess he's starting to replenish his mining at the third a little bit. Leta trying to get some assassinations there. Actually does get a decent number of probes with those vultures. But Leta's down to 97 supply at the 15-minute mark against Best, who happily has now 5 bases.
70이 없어.
and is macroing out of control.
그래 내 병력 가져가.
Leta still has a decent army because he's lost a lot of probes. So I don't know. Best is probably close to the point where he can just attack and break him, especially with good shuttle usage. But he might need to wait just a little bit more. But with an 80 supply advantage, that's getting pretty significant. But Best just being patient, taking his time, waiting to slowly end Leta.
아 이것도 용납 못하긴 하죠.
Dun, 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 dun. Arbiter and shuttle? Shuttle to take the first shots? Is that the idea here? No, no. Shuttle to bomb. Okay. So we're going to have recall round 2. Maybe all the way into the main. Oh, Best, you noob. Oh, that was like... That happens sometimes, but that was worse than most. That was a super troll recall. I can't believe the animation even started. That was like a second delay, my god. I should have paid attention to Leta's face. I wonder if he knew that was coming. I didn't think that was coming. I thought he'd EMP'd that thing solidly. But now more SCVs are dying. An annoying recall in the main. Not necessarily trading efficiently, but he's just keeping Leta's economy just absolutely pinned to nothing. And of course he's got multiple arbiters out, so he can just start chain recalling. There's just really nowhere for Best to go from here. Or for Leta to go from here. Except out of the game. So again, Best is sitting on about an 80 supply advantage. Leta should be starting to mine his bases low. Best happily on 5 bases. Still no bank yet from Best, recalling often enough to keep his supply low. Defending these high ground pods and just recalling from there. Look at Leta's army. It's like 6 tanks. And the Best is clearing out some mines. Surely he's not going to attack down that ramp. And Best, let's see your Songho. Let's see your Songho. Let's see your swagger. Let's get some Man or Nexi, like wall tearing in with Man or Nexi or something, you know? Except Best macro is so hard he doesn't even have a bank. Alright, well, this is kind of a weird engagement here. But Best has so much shit, I think he wins this engagement anyways. Oh, he's coming in from all sides. Yeah, baby. Macro toss. Those mines are going to kill all those tanks. Oh my god. Maybe. Someday. There we go. Mine the back. So Leta's got 80 supply. He's got 2 tanks. They're unsieged. We're waiting for GG. Look at that macro train from Best. Vintage Best. It is done. Best smashes Leta's face in after Leta goes full suicide. Alright, let's see if Harangue 2 can actually give Flash a good fight here. I hope so. I genuinely hope so. Best is just like, oh wait, he's got a smirk on his face. What? I don't know about the quality of that kick, but that was an interesting ceremony. Damn, Best has some wide shoulders. Dudes have some frame. Oh yeah, we already know Best has a good body though. There's a whole Best body thread. So yeah, that's fair. He does have a good body. Domination by Best. So instead of Bong Joon, can I just call him Bong Jacked? Alright, Flash versus Harangue up next. 23-1. Whoa, Best wins so hard, it counts as 20 wins. I'm sure that's what they're laughing about, since that was entered wrong. 23-1. Best win is worth a lot, guys. When Best wins, you get bonus points. Hella bonus points. Hella super mega bonus points. Britain's like, oh yeah. Oh boy, oh. Alright, so Flash is gonna come out. and win a game for Shinhan. But then Larva's probably going to come and trash everyone's hopes and dreams of an ace match between Larva and Flash.
도나이드에 꽂히신 것 같아요.
Man, if there was an ace match too, that would mean Larva lost to Tyson, and then Larva has to upgrade to playing Flash. I'm actually not tired right now. Well, I am, but I like legit have something in my eye. This is not me falling asleep. Even though it might appear that way. I don't know if it does. It's possible.
누나도 BJ 하자. 게임 방송을 하라는 말씀인데요.
So we're just waiting to see Flash take on Harang. Or maybe Harang will throw off a surprise here and take down Flash. I mean, it's not impossible Harang could do it. It's PvT, which is probably the matchup where Flash is the most susceptible to upset victories. And Harang has okay PvT. He has the most beautiful gateway placements of all times, if you guys don't know better. And you want to learn how to place gateways in bases nicely and have awesome base layouts that are not only effective, but incredibly aesthetic. Harang 2 is your man. Aesthetic bases, Harang 2. Are they going to be playing on Shin Chipong or on Shin Pei? Shin Peaks or what's our other map? Shin Tao, Shin Grand Line. I can't remember. I am J-hooning it up. I can't recall. I can't recall. I honestly can't recall. Alright, I think we're getting ready to go into game number 5. Big match. Number 2. Flash.
Shinhan Investment. Flash. Round 5.
Oh, Shin Peaks is ace. Interesting. No, Eye of the Storm. Yeah. Duh. So Eye of the Storm, Larva versus Tyson on Polaris, and then apparently ace would be on Shin Peaks at Baekdu. I kind of want to see Larva versus Flash on Shin Peaks at Baekdu. That would be interesting, but it's probably not going to happen. Oh well, hopefully Flash and Tyson win. But, alright, spawning in the bottom left-hand position as the Blue Terran, the #1 Brood War player, both of right now and of all time. The undisputed GOAT, the current best, we have Flash. And in the top right-hand corner, the challenger, the red Protoss, the absolute most aesthetic Protoss building player of all time, Harang 2. You might as well just call him the god of aesthetics. He's basically Brood Wars is. This is the map he was playing against last. I think they are known in advance. Either that or their production team is like way on top of it and doing live production for them. Because I mean, like those introductions are all done, like shown where they, are like Flash, Harang. Yeah, I can't do that guy's voice very well, but you know. Alright, so Flash is opening with a Barracks, unsurprisingly here. Wow, who would have thought that on a flat map you might do Rax Expand? That's pretty much the go-to for Terrans on flat maps or reverse ramps. It's just Rax Expand. Because, hey, you're going to need a bunker, so if you're going to need a bunker, well, you might as well just get a fast economy behind it. Now we'll see what how Harang 2 is going to play here. Is he going to be really aggressive from the start? Is he going to be a gateway toss? Or is he going to dare to play macro against Flash? Or will he go for fast reavers or DT drop or who knows what? Flash immediately sending an SCV out. That's a pretty early... never mind, that's not an early scout. I take back what I said. Normal scout here for Flash, and Core on the way for Harang. And Flash is actually... Never mind, I was looking at this wrong. I thought Flash was in a completely different position. Flash is just walling in. This is actually just normal. Sorry, guys. I thought Flash was, like, at the top right, and that barracks was, like, outside in his natural and part of a wall. But no, Flash is actually not Rax expanding. He's just going to go ahead and go straight into factory play. You're playing Terran 3 in the background? Well, if you wanted that, I could have just left Broodor running. I can't watch Flash play without Terran music. Yeah, I can feel you on that, Zonk. Alright, so Flash is just going to chill with his Marines up here and maybe try to intercept the probe when it comes in. But the probe is not coming in. This is just like going to be Dragoon Scout or no Scout here from Harang. Harang doesn't care. He's coming down 1 Goon Nexus here. So he should be adding a second gateway with this usually. Unless he's opting to play extremely greedy. Or go into Reavers. He could do that. Yeah, so he's going to get Robo. Well, if Flash is playing somewhat aggressively here, if Flash goes for FD, he might be able to do damage. If Flash goes strong FD, this would be very scary for Harang 2. Unless, of course, this is Reaver. Harang 2 is trying to block, and he's doing a good job. Flash just sees the gateway. Flash gets no. That's really no intel. I mean, the Nexus is worthwhile, but with 1 Goon, you were never going to stop Flash from seeing that. And now it's Flash's turn to play at probe denial, and so far doing an okay job of that. Now, I guess we do need to see if this is going to be Reaver, but given the fast range from Harang 2, it's probably not going to be Reaver. So we'll just have to see what Flash is building here. I mean, he's obviously got the first tank, but did he only make 2 Marines? That means he's probably not doing anything aggressive-esque. Yeah, we see the command center starting, so no strong FD or that kind of build from Flash here, just getting his economy up and running. He's got his 3 SCVs back on gas. And honestly, depending on what Harang 2 is doing, he'd be vulnerable to some early factory timings. You know, if Flash were to go Fact CC Fact or something like that, that could also give Harang a hard time. In fact, Flash is still making Marines. That is telling. That is telling. I think we are going to see Fact CC Fact. And this will be a little bit scary for Harang 2. This could easily just end the game right here, right now. Although, actually, wait, is that a Robo Support Bait? Never mind. That is gonna be a little bit different. I thought with the range that it was probably going to be Observers. Clearly, that is not the case. So this will allow Harang to defend if they are out in time and well controlled. But Flash is adding the second fact. He's going to have some Vultures reinforcing across the map here shortly. He's adding that economy to get an exact idea of what's going on. But he's going to have a window here, a short window, before the Reaver is out. Actually, though, the support bay, the Reaver's probably a third done, half done right now. So the window for Flash is going to be small at best. Let's see if he can get in here and kill off these Dragoons and do some damage before the Reaver is out. Flash is going straight for that pylon, which is kind of annoying, but unfortunately killing the pylons doesn't block the tech. If it blocked the tech, it would be really nice because it would just get rid of these mines. Actually, no, he's going to... Well, no, an Observer will probably get started. But there's a Reaver here, so Flash is going to have to turn and back up immediately. Obviously not breaking a battery, 3 Goons, and a Reaver in a tight choke. It's just 100% not going to happen. But he did kill off that Observatory. It'll be interesting to see if Harang 2 was able to start an OBS. Probably was, so he should be able to get an OBS and at least clear a few of those mines. And adding a couple more gateways, and we're going to go Bond style, probably, straight into Carrier here. Man, Bond is becoming an inspiration for all the Korean players now. They face him on ladder, and they're like, damn, 2-base Reaver into Carrier, Chris Micro? Holy shit, I need to do this. This just feels like Protoss. Alright, and Flash is cranking out those upgrades. We can see his +1 already starting. Stargate is on the way. I mean, it is interesting he only has 1 Stargate. But it feels like it would be kind of on the slow side here for Arbiters. I mean, maybe there's an archives that the Observer hasn't shown us. But I'm rather expecting this to be Carriers. very fast carriers. Yeah, okay, now we know it's carriers. So 2-base Reaver into carrier, the blunt special coming right up. Although no Reaver harass, a Goliath is out for Flash. And remember, Flash was adding his academy pretty fast, so he's going to have access to scanners. He's playing this very conservatively here. He's actually CCing in his natural, rather than building it on the high ground. Doesn't want to have to deal with Reaver harass this early spread across 3 bases. Willing to slow down his scouting for that. And of course we did see that an observer did finish for Harangue. And that second comsat coming up. And so this is going to get scanned. It's already scanned. There we go. So Flash is like, oh, okay. Okay, I see how it's going to be. I see how it's going to be. And we'll see how Flash changes his play and adapts in response to that. We can see, of course, the obs did get out. And now the shuttle's flying over. Sees no base. Ah, Flash sees the observer floating over his command center. And scans and kills it. Such an eye. That's so hard to see. Like, that's... Flash is a boss. Flash is a boss. What can you say? The guy's just too damn good. So an armory here for Flashy. And a turret. And now the command center's done. Immediately lifts off. And of course, the ground army for Harangue 2 is non-existent in this build. So Flash can more or less cruise over here and take this base. He just needs to be a little bit careful about the 2 Reavers, or the Reaver and Dragoon in the shuttle, as he takes it, and not carelessly lose a tank or 3. But he'll be able to take that base pretty easily. And he's going to immediately move on the map here to put some pressure on and secure this base. The Reaver is laid down, but Flash is just going to... Hooray! Oh, you noob. What a chobo. Oh, actually he gets out, though. He does save the Reaver. Oh, come on. Come on. Yeah, wow, you are so aggressive, Harangue. You are going full piano right here with this aggression. Unfortunately, Flash did not actually quite get the kill on the Reaver. Surprisingly, Harangue 2 does not appear to have made a second Reaver, which is interesting because that is one of the major values, major tools in dealing with an early Terran push. But okay, now we got 2 shuttles, so yeah. That is going to be in line for dealing with any sort of early push Flash might do before this carrier count starts to get established. And now Harangue 2 moving over to take his 3rd base there. Interestingly, both players opting to expand vertically. And 2 shuttles coming in here, not scouted by the minds of Flash, but Flash does have some pretty good turrets up. Does Flash know this is coming? No, he doesn't know this is coming. He does now, though. Alright, so we're having a few Zealots being dropped. Tank is turning around immediately. Reaver unloads just 1 Reaver, though. Will he get a money shot, though, on the SCVs? Yeah, those are some pretty good Scarabs. I think the second one went off, too, so that's not what Flash wanted to have happen, in all honesty. And the Zealots are going to get a tank out of this, I think, too. So this is very disruptive to Flash, and 7 or 8 SCVs dying there in that attack. Unfortunately, Harangue suicides the shuttle on the way out, so we don't get to see that. And that might be just enough for Flash to say, you know what, I can go and push Harangue 2, but he might also say, you know what, if this push fails, my economy got hurt, I'm going to be in a really bad spot, and I don't know which it is. I'm not Flash. I don't have that pay grade of game knowledge to know. Like, it's not obvious that Flash's army could win, and it's not clear if Harangue 2 is rebuilt a couple Reavers. With that many Zealots coming out, no, I think Flash is actually a bit on the back burner right now. He's going to have to deal with the carriers. He's going to have to defend. There are carriers out already to start harassing. 3rd base going up, and possibly that's a probe at the bottom right there looking to take a 4th base for Harangue. And in come the carriers here. They're going to clear these turrets pretty easily. So that is going to start to get very annoying. And of course there's also a ground army in here to threaten. Although Flash's supply is still not bad, it's reasonably close to Harangue's. These Dragoons cannot possibly come here and attack. There's 3 or 4 tanks there and mines in the way. Now, if Zealots start reinforcing, that could change things a little bit. But enough Goliaths there to deal with the carriers. But now there's 4 carriers. And that's sort of the point where carriers start to feel powerful. At 6, they definitely feel powerful, but at 4, it's kind of in between. And yeah, Flash is definitely going to have to micro back like crazy here, unless he's got reinforcing Goliaths coming up. But the carriers are working to pick off those Goliaths. It would be nice to see the upgrades on this. We got 1-1 for Flash. It would be nice to see what's on the carriers. There we go. A few more reinforcing Goliaths coming up, but Harang 2 is moving to pick off the tanks, and we can see the Goliaths can shoot the interceptors, but that's not all that great when it's 6 Goliaths against 4 carriers. Flash needs a little more mass in there, and he lost a lot of supply in that. That was very, very efficient for Harang 2, who's taking now the 12 o'clock base as his 4th base. Vessel out for Flash. Still no expansion right now. Flash just trying to secure everything, get that factory count up, get a group, well, 2 groups or so out of Goliath so they really can shoot interceptors in an effective manner. But that early trade, that was very nice for Harang. And Harang working towards his max now. Never going to be a super fast max with this style, with a few battles already having been waged. But he's sitting in a pretty good position. He's up to 6 carriers now. And now these Zealots are going to run in here, and this is a pretty committed attack. EMP goes down, hitting the carriers. Lots of Goliaths in the backfield, but remember, oh, there's a lot of Vultures in here, though. This is not going to work for Harang. The Goliaths will deter the carriers, and that's more than enough Vultures. Flash getting his composition almost perfectly tuned. If anything, he's possibly towards the side of being a smidge low on Goliath. He's not gotten his Vulture speed started yet, though, I think is what they're showing us, right? They're actually slow Volts. But that is a lot of carrier mass, and there's not a lot of turrets, and there's not a boatload of Goliaths out right now, and these Goliaths do have to work their way up onto the high ground. Flash just using them to shoot at the interceptors. But Harang is securing more bases, and I mean, Flash's supply is gradually increasing. Now he's on top of the carriers, though, and might be able to shoot at them, but then has to pull back here into his turrets, working on just shooting away those interceptors, just kind of trading minerals and keeping those carriers from coming in and really going for a CC snipe or similar. Now, is he continuing carrier? So we're going to have 8 carriers. Flash's going to have to deal with a lot of carriers right now from Harang too. And I mean, you know, as you start to get to 8 and 10 carriers, that's where you can really start diving on CCs and doing those kinds of things. You know, like 4 to 6 is kind of where you start to be able to fight Terran armies, pick off Goliaths easily, that kind of stuff, pick off tanks easily. And then 8 or 10 is more where you can just start going for shit, killing buildings and all that kind of stuff. So Harang 2 just kind of moving around here, probing, looking for any weak points in Flash's defense. But now Flash is pretty close to max. And yep, right as he hits max, the whole army, the whole gelatinaceous, gigantic Flash Doom army starts to move out. Now Harang 2 looks like he wants to counter, but those are some pretty nice mines there. They're going to kill most of those Zealots, and Flash will definitely have to swing back around. But honestly, this looks somewhat movable by Flash. There's still a lot of Vultures in there, maybe not right at the front, where he'd like him, but Flash is easily going to win this battle, and Harang 2 needs to turn around here. He is soaking up a lot of interceptor fire. Well, I guess if he picks off that many tanks, maybe he won't easily win the battle, but Flash is able to target fire carriers as Harang 2 dives deep into that line, and Flash will run over that army of Harang. Pretty convincing win for Flash. That was definitely an overextension by Harang, losing 2 carriers out of that. But Flash's tanks kind of in front here. They are vulnerable to these carriers, but the carriers are in full retreat right now. Goliath's chasing on top of them. And will Flash move forward and get another carrier pickoff? He's thinking about it. But a few of these Goliaths are moving haphazardly. And Flash is just wanting to push straight towards the bases of Harang 2. And moving up onto the high ground now with a few tanks, a few Vultures, and the carriers are coming back at home. So this is an interesting choice by Flash here. I don't think these Goliaths are enough to defend against 6 carriers, but we'll see here with the commitment from Flash, committing to the natural, so he's going to shut down at least 1 or 2 bases of Harang, but it looks like he's going to do so at the cost of his own base. Now, he's got some pretty good production, but we don't exactly see tons of Goliaths coming over here, and Flash reinforced not at this base. Flash reinforced his main base with carrier Goliaths, so Flash very much committing to this right now, And this is a risk because there's 2 other bases out on the map for Harang 2. DTs are being made smartly, as is the case. Tanks are being split off for Flash, but there's still going to be a mining base for Harang 2, even if Flash kills both of those. And Flash's economy now is almost out. I'm not sure. I think Flash has lost this, guys. Harang 2 is still being able to mine from 2 bases. Flash is reinforcing this big time, trying to win this fight here, but his reinforcements are delayed, and there's still a boatload of carriers out, and Harang 2 has max economy. I really sense that Flash, we'll see if he can work magic, but this feels misjudged. I feel like there's, yeah, you can see the reaction in his chair. He knows there's just too much stuff out there, and Harang maggering hard out of those gateways, and the carriers can just come back and clean up the little bit that remains, as long as Harang 2 is decently patient, because Flash just can't get over there and get all those mining bases. So carriers are going to clean up the Goliaths, and I think we're going to see GG here. Flash does have a tank or 2 down at what appears to be the bottom right for Harang 2, but we're down to what, 6 Goliaths? 7 Goliaths? Against equal numbers of carriers? That's not the fight you want. Flash is going to scan, pick off that obs, but each time those interceptors come out, a Goliath falls. Scans are pretty low from Flash. He's trying to re-expand. I mean, it is Flash. Maybe he'll still make a game of this. He is killing this base from Harang. That's a big deal. But he is, Harang is having to move, or Flash is having to move away now. But Harang has also taken the top base. I'm surprised he didn't rush to clear down the bottom base sooner, but Flash still has a push out on the map here. He's going to move towards the top base. Now, if Harang 2 messes this up and loses too much here, then Flash could kill 2 bases for 1, but Flash's economy is in really bad shape. Harang's is now in not as great shape, and this is not the engagement Harang wants, and suddenly Flash has a very large army on the map. Where was that earlier? That is the kind of macro from Flash that makes you go, how did he just do that? But that's now enough to be scary. A lot of Goliaths in there. Still has scans. Going to try to bleed in DTs for scans. But Harang 2 still has an economy. He still has production, which makes it very interesting that Flash is seemingly still this far ahead in supply. But is Flash's army actually too big? This game is all over the place. It looked really bad for Flash. It just looked like he was almost out of units. Like there was just a few tanks left, and now all of a sudden here's 2.5 control groups of Goliaths and a few tanks pushing into the main base, or the second main of Harang 2. So Harang's going to go for the counter again on Flash's base, but that's going to let Flash take out 12 o'clock base if he does do that. And Flash's reinforcements should be enough to defend his CC at 6 o'clock. I mean, I like what Harang is doing here, trying to position his carriers between his top and Flash's 9 to kind of threaten Flash in both places. But now Flash is convincingly taking out both the top base and the top left base. And while Flash will lose his own base, that's going to be about it for mining on both players. And without money to make interceptors, that's usually a pretty nice situation for Protoss. However, the scans could be an issue, and if they're okay, so he's going to come back here. I was going to say, if he could keep bleeding out DTs, Harang 2, that might become an issue long term here, as Flash is very close to being broke. Now, I believe he saved the CC. Did he actually? Maybe I don't actually know. I can't remember if Flash saved the CC. That also is something that could come back to be a big issue. Oh, he's actually having to float. He's got like no scanners right now. He obviously did not save the CC, so that means his scanner count is at 1. He has a vessel, but 1 vessel. I mean, you can snipe a vessel, and sniping a vessel is something I imagine we'll see Harang do, unless Harang just thinks it's over and is just going to try to go for it right now. But if he runs in DTs here, he's actually picking off quite a few Goliaths. And he's reestablishing a base. Did he go for the vessel? No. Still enough Goliaths to hold. Flash is still mining from this base. This base going back up for Harang 2. And of course the top base has been saved. And the vessel, that is a major mistake from Flash. That's a big deal. I mean, Flash does have 2 gas. Oh no, he's only got 1 gas right now, and it's a depleted gas. Flash doesn't have much gas to remake vessels either. That's a pretty good tank from Flash here. It's going to get a few probe kills, but it dies before it can get its second shot off. and this game is turning on a knife's edge. Who would have thought Harang 2 versus Flash would deliver game of the night, but so far we are getting a good one out of it. This will be most likely a nail-biter to the finish. Flash is kind of making some mistakes here, bleeding some units. That Vessel was a huge mistake, especially if more DTs come, but now we've got a Goliath flank, and that's going to pin the carriers in. He needs to get out of here. He's going to lose at least one, maybe two carriers, and just microing like crazy, but where are the DTs? I'm honestly completely surprised that we aren't seeing more DTs here from Harang 2. Now that there's two scanners, it's not as bad, but with just one scanner, no Vessel, no turrets, I feel like DTs could be so powerful, and Flash is just trying to completely surround these carriers. He gets another one, and I mean, these carriers are important for Harang 2. He can't be bleeding them out like this, losing them carelessly. Scan goes down for Flash, and a nice pullback there on the carrier. A few Dragoons ready to come in here and dive, and Harang 2 just trying to out-macro and force Flash back. But remember, this is not a good position from Flash. Like, trading 1-1, like, he really needs to kill carriers, which he might do, but if he has to sit back and defend this hard, while Harang 2 is reestablishing at 2 bases, it's really, really not good for Flash now, especially since Flash is having to evacuate this base, and even though it almost turned on its head, there we go, GG, massive win from Harang 2. That actually ends the series, 4-1, and huge win from Harang 2, and an uncharacteristic mistake from Flash. I mean, it was an interesting choice to base trade to counter, and it did not pay off. Although honestly, I really thought Flash was dead 5 minutes ago. That was amazing that Flash even made that much of a game out of it. I was like, what? What? Am I gonna be that wrong with my prediction? There we go, 4-1. Gamst gets it done. Huge win from Harang 2. I mean, I don't think Flash will be crushed over this. I mean, Flash hates to lose. You know, he's a champion, but I don't think he'll be too crushed by this because his team was probably dead anyway. Because Tyson was going to have to beat Larva, which was much less likely to happen than Harang beating Flash was. Yeah. I was really worried though at like when Flash was almost killing Harang's bases. Like I was sitting there saying Flash is dead, and I was almost made to look like an idiot. So thank you, Harang 2, for not making me look like an idiot. Like I felt like Harang 2 was kind of ahead the whole time, but when Flash came up with like 2 more groups of Goliaths, I was like, what? Why was he not reinforcing with those? Alright, so we got at least one really good game out of the night. That was a good game. Yeah, Gamst, there was something about Gamst saying military service veterans or something like that. So that is indeed the Team Columbo. So Flash vs Harang, I think takes Game of the Night award. I'm trying to think back. Shine versus Piano it was action packed, but it was kind of lackluster. It was, I'd say that would be a if you have time game. Game 2 was the PvT between Aegong and whatever. That's another if you have time. And don't mind slightly lower level games. Game 3 was... Fuck. What map was it on? Tau? Oh, that was the C game. The C game was a dud. No need to watch that. And then Game 4 was Best versus Leta. That was a pretty dud game. And then Game 5 was a great game. Oh, should I say? I didn't actually realize that. I actually thought it was like Harang 2, but yeah, Harangi makes more sense. I actually like saying that better, so I'll have to keep that in mind. Thanks for that as a suggestion. Alright guys, well, it was fun. It's been real. Thanks for watching. VODs will be up on YouTube and well, YouTube later and Africa now. You guys probably aren't interested in that though, because you just watched the games live. And let's see here. We've got BSL ProLeague coming up here in just 3.5 hours. So if you are not going to sleep in that time period, look for that. And then let's update and double check the schedule here for MPL and let you guys know when to expect more MPL games. Switch that over to this here, give the whole screen. Yeah. Double check our schedule. 12 and 13. So our next games are going to be the 16th and the 17th. So that is 3 days from now. 3 and 4 days from now will be our next matches, which I believe is going to be some losers bracket stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and see you maybe in 3.5 hours, or see you in 3 days. Bye bye.